Yu Ci was once a legendary mathematical genius with a future that looked absolutely limitless. Alongside her best friend, Jing, she co-founded a tech startup, all while living out a beautiful first love romance with a man named Ran. Everything in her life seemed to be on the perfect track towards success and happiness, but then a sudden, brutal tragedy struck. Under the dark and calculated schemes of Jing, Yu Ci was manipulated into a state of total mental instability. Her behavior became so uncontrollable that it led to a severe confrontation with her own family. Desperate and heartbroken, her family was forced to intervene, committing her to a psychiatric treatment center to seek professional help and stabilize her mind. While Yu Ci was suffering in confinement, Jing's life took a complete 180-degree turn. By ruthlessly selling out their company, she successfully bought her way into the high society elite, securing a powerful executive position within the massive Li Shen Group. To make matters worse, she would visit the hospital under the fake pretense of caring for her friend, only to intentionally flaunt intimate photos of herself with Ran. This cruel exposure of the truth pushed Yu Ci over the edge into total madness. As medical staff pinned Yu Ci down and dragged her into the dark, echoing depths of the hospital corridors, her mother, Zhao He, could only stand by, watching in such agonizing pain that she completely collapsed. Fast forward 3 years, Yu Ci has finally recovered and is discharged. Returning to her lonely, abandoned old home, she happens to touch a commemorative photo of 4 people: herself, Jing, Ran, and a man named Ming Xuan. That photo once represented a beautiful new beginning, but it ended in nothing but betrayal and theft. The Yu Ci of today no longer has that radiant glow of the past. In her eyes now, there is only a cold, piercing stare and a fierce determination for revenge. In reality, Yu Ci wasn't in a rush. She actually could have left the treatment center much earlier, but she chose to stay hidden in the facility to quietly gather every scrap of news and intel. She spent those years building a psychological profile of every single one of her enemies, waiting for the perfect moment to drag Jing into the abyss. Finally, she sets her sights on Li Qiang, the only son of Chairman Huan Cheng. He is a notorious, decadent playboy who is currently drowning in trouble. Yu Ci understands that Li Qiang's scandals are the perfect lever to shake the entire foundation of the Li Shan Empire. At a high-profile charity event, Jing appears looking like a saint, smiling for the cameras while taking photos with children. But the second the ceremony ends, that fake mask is ripped to shreds by a desperate SOS call from Li Qiang. That night, the scandals of the Li clan and a brutal corporate war officially exploded. Under the crushing pressure of embezzled funds and Jing's own toxic instigation, Li Qiang falls into total despair and decides to end it all on his own terms. His sudden death throws the relationship between the chairman and the group's associates into absolute chaos. Against this backdrop, the hidden war between Chairman Huan Cheng and CEO Dong Chao is finally dragged into the light, as every corporate scheme and power play begins to surface. The following morning, Dong Chao brings Jing to pay her respects at the funeral, but they are flatly and harshly rejected. The moment they leave, Chairman Li orders his inner circle to prepare for a strike. The media swarms Dong Chao, but he maintains a wall of absolute silence. Behind the scenes, the corporation is rife with suspicion that Dong Chao had a secret private meeting with Li Qiang just before the young man died. In truth, Chairman Li had already planned with his brother to kick Dong Chao out of the group, and his own son's death unintentionally became the perfect excuse. In just 2 days, the group's stock began to plummet and fluctuate violently. Yu Ci goes directly to meet Dong Chao, bringing a single photo and a chilling warning. Chairman Li is moving to overthrow him, but she has the key to flipping the script. Inside the car, she hands him an envelope labeled the Kelly Criterion, a mathematical strategy used to optimize investments. On the back of the photo, she makes a bold prediction. The stock code LT will rocket from $20,000 to $70,000 this very day. Dong Chao is half skeptical, but after verifying her data, he decides to bet everything on Yu Ci. He assembles his elite trading team and orders Jing to guard the door, making sure no one, absolutely no one, interrupts them. Back at home, Yu Ci's eyes never leave the screen as she tracks the market's every move. Just as she calculated, Chairman Li arrives with a mob of angry shareholders to demand justice, but they are blocked at the door. Inside, Dong Chao does the unthinkable. He goes against all conventional logic and orders his team to pour every cent of their resources into buying LT. Even as the chairman's faction begins smashing at the door to break in, the traitors remain resolute, protecting their equipment under the intense, commanding gaze of Dong Chao. At the absolute last second, the value of LT skyrocketed, hitting exactly $70,000, just as UC had predicted down to the cent. At that same moment, news of a massive breakthrough in superconductor experiments was officially announced. It was a landslide victory for CEO Dong Chao, forcing the chairman's faction to retreat in silent, bitter defeat. That night, during a dazzling celebration party, Jing was tasked with welcoming a very special new employee. Under a sky lit by exploding fireworks, UC slowly turned around. Her eyes were brimming with confidence, and a faint, icy smile played on her lips. The tension in the air was suffocating. It was a silent warning to everyone present that she was the one pulling the strings now. UC was officially back. She entered the Li Shen group with a sharp, calculated edge that she had spent 3 years honing. Years ago, she was the sole backbone that built their company, Do Xiao, into a powerhouse. The other 3 had lived off her brilliance, only to heartlessly betray her when she was at her peak. Now, Yu Ci was going to make every single one of them pay, and her first target was the most selfish and cowardly of them all, Ming Xuan. On her first day at Li Shen Group, despite the HR director's glowing recommendation to place her in the elite futures investment department, the literal heart of the company, Yu Ci chose a different path. She chose to settle in Investment Department 3. This was a neglected, reject department hidden at the end of a remote hallway, filled with outdated equipment and a lazy clock-in, clock-out work culture. The manager here was Bai Dong, a man who nearly lost his job after a secret recording of him was leaked. He only kept his seat because CEO Dong Chao personally vouched for him. Because of that trauma, he was incredibly paranoid about phones and strictly banned all employees from using mobile devices during work hours. Bai Dong had heard of Yu Ci's reputation long ago. He was dying of curiosity. Why would a genius like her accept a job in a bottom-tier department like his? But she only gave him a cold, simple answer. She was there for one specific project, and nothing else. Without pushing further, Bai Dong assigned her a seat and introduced her to her 3 new colleagues, the sweet and innocent Tian Tian, the sharp and street-smart Wang Mang, and the incredibly perceptive and observant Ma Yang. Yu Ci's arrival was like a heavy stone dropped into a still pond, sending massive ripples through Jing's mind. When Dong Chao asked Jing how it felt to see her old friend again, a cold shiver ran down her spine. She realized then that Dong Chao already knew every dark secret from her past. To a man like Dong Chao, a history of mental instability meant nothing. He only cared about who could generate the most value. On the flip side, the fact that Jing's circle was indirectly responsible for Li Chang's death had made him extremely wary of her. This forced Jing to start looking for an exit strategy and a new powerful ally to lean on. Meanwhile, Ming Xuan was spiraling into a dead end, drowning under his father's massive medical bills. When Yu Ci took the initiative to find him, Ming Xuan was visibly shaking with anxiety. He desperately tried to claim that he hadn't personally harmed her, but Yu Ci was ruthless. She pointed out that his silence and cold indifference 3 years ago were exactly what caused her the deepest pain. Finally, she laid out a clear-cut deal. If he worked for her, every single one of his debts would be wiped clean. Over on the chairman's side, Chairman Huan Cheng summoned Jing to interrogate her about his son's final phone call. In reality, on that fateful day, Li Chang had called Jing begging for a connection to Dong Chao, but she had coldly told him that only by disappearing can you truly be free. However, standing before the chairman, Jing spun a completely different web of lies. She hinted that Li Chang had met with Dong Chao privately before doing something reckless, all to perform an act of absolute loyalty to the Li family. To tighten her grip on Ming Xuan, Yu Ci transferred 1 million RMB to him. Her command was simple: go meet Jing and keep your phone on an active call the entire time. At this meeting, Jing, who had now secretly defected to work for Chairman Li, used both a massive bribe and a series of threats to force Ming Xuan to testify against Dong Chao in front of the board of directors. She wanted him to commit perjury, claiming that Dong Chao had encouraged Li Chang's gambling habits and embezzled corporate funds before forcing him to take his own life. When Ming Xuan hesitated, Jing twisted the knife into his past wounds. She mocked him, saying, "Once a traitor, always a traitor," and sneered that his weak, spineless nature was only good for playing dirty tricks behind people's backs. Jing made him a golden promise. If they could successfully topple Dong Chao, Ming Xuan wouldn't just have his debts wiped clean, he would be handed the prestigious seat of investment manager. Little did she know, Yu Ci was silently listening to every single word of this treachery through the other end of the line. Soon after, rumors of Dong Chao's imminent firing spread through the Li Shen group like wildfire. Chairman Li used the public outcry to tighten the noose, while Dong Chao decided to double down, betting his entire career on Yu Ci. On the eve of the final decision, the department head Bai Dong secretly tipped off Jing that Yu Ci had personally taken on the wine project, a venture based in Dong Chao's own hometown. Bai Dong suspected Yu Ci was trying to save the CEO, but for himself, he chose to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, waiting to see who would emerge as the ultimate victor. That same night, the debt collectors caught up with Ming Xuan, beating him within an inch of his life. Yu Ci visited him in the hospital, coldly reminding him of the time she saved him from prison after he embezzled funds years ago. All she received in return for her mercy back then was his betrayal. Faced with Ming Xuan's pathetic begging, Yu Ci agreed to help him one last time, but on one condition. The next morning, a desperate Ming Xuan stood on the company rooftop, threatening to jump. He demanded that both Chairman Li and Dong Chao be present. The air was thick with tension as everyone held their breath. Yu Ci slowly approached him, her gaze icy and her words like a razor. She ruthlessly dismantled his facade, mocking his weakness and selfishness until he was forced to see the monster in the mirror. Overwhelmed, Ming Xuan collapsed, sobbing for forgiveness. Yu Ci pulled out a phone that was still connected to Jing, spoke a few calm, cryptic words, and hung up. She looked Ming Xuan dead in the eye, making it clear that from this moment on, he would have to live with the consequences of his own choices. He was finally going to feel the true weight of failure and responsibility. As for Dong Chao, he was never a man to enter a battle unprepared. Before meeting the chairman, he had already flipped the chairman's own brother and the majority of the shareholders to his side. Dong Chao asserted that he wasn't an enemy, but the Li family's most reliable ally. After he walked out, Chairman Huan Cheng exploded in a fit of rage, sweeping everything off his desk. With the plan failing, Jing scrambled to control the damage, ordering Ming Xuan to tell the public that the rooftop incident was just a mental breakdown. Ming Xuan finally woke up to the truth. He was being discarded and pushed into a corner, exactly like Yu Ci had been 3 years ago. Right then, Dong Chao called with a cold-blooded decree. Jing was to cooperate fully with Yu Ci on the wine project, and Ming Xuan was to be fired from the Li Shen group immediately. Furious, Jing lashed out at Ming Xuan about Yu Ci, but he simply warned her. Stop underestimating her. The woman she knew was gone. The new Yu Ci would show no mercy to anyone. The war had officially begun. The next morning, Yu Ci realized she was being followed by Chen Mo, a psychologist from her old treatment center who wanted to re-examine her. Yu Ci shut him down instantly and walked away. Meanwhile, Jing was busy playing a dangerous double game. She went to the Vian Qian group and started a secret affair with a man named Peng Yu, even though her lover, Mu Ran, was currently away in a foreign country. She teamed up with Lu Yang, a fund manager, and a famous analyst named Xu Sui to pump and dump the wine project. Jing even used Tian, the young, innocent employee from UC's department, as bait to please a man named Mr. Huang. Her plan was to inflate the project's value, lure Dong Chao into pouring in a fortune, and then pull her capital out before it all collapsed. To build hype for the project, Jing forced Tian to attend social events with wealthy clients, handing her a black card to buy expensive, flashy dresses. At a wine-soaked banquet filled with hidden traps, Jing skillfully manipulated the clients into signing on to the project. Then, she heartlessly left Tian behind to escort Xu Shui back to his hotel room. But UC was 10 steps ahead. She had been quietly investigating and had already secured financial reports showing massive red flags in the wine business. She went straight to Dong Chao's office to warn him. However, the CEO was blinded by the massive potential profits and seemed completely indifferent to whether the reports were actually true. Standing right next to her, Jing couldn't hide her smug satisfaction. She secretly mocked UC, thinking the genius was still as naive and soft as she used to be. But UC didn't argue. She simply shot back a look so filled with hidden meaning it was like a silent promise. The end is coming sooner than you think. Meanwhile, the psychologist Chen Mo was still persistently following UC. He took her to meet a mother and her young daughter, a child with a disability who was struggling to get by. His goal? To prove to UC that the world isn't just made of schemes and trauma. Seeing their genuine struggle actually touched UC's heart. She apologized for her constant suspicion and left a generous amount of money to help them. Finally, the grand launch day for the wine project arrived. After the ceremony, a minor director named Jing started throwing his weight around, acting arrogantly and annoying CEO Dong Chao. Annoyed, Dong Chao ordered Jing to handle the situation and to do it decisively. While the elite were celebrating, Tian Tian walked into Xu Shui's hotel room. She had gone there out of pure admiration for him as a legendary senior in the industry, but she quickly realized he was a predator. Feeling trapped and terrified, she scrambled to call Jing for help. But the response she got was ice cold. Jing basically told her that every choice has a price and she needed to deal with the consequences of her decisions. It was a brutal realization for the young girl. Luckily, Yu Ci had anticipated this exact scenario. She had already tipped off Chen Mo, who arrived just in time to burst into the room. Chen Mo blocked the perverted director's path and made it clear that his actions would be exposed. Terrified of a scandal, the director backed down, allowing Chen Mo to lead Tian Tian out of that nightmare safely. Back at the event, Dong Chao was still determined to sign the deal, blinded by the massive profit margins. But Yu Ci blocked his path. She laid it all out. This was a death trap set by Chairman Li. The chairman was waiting for him to tie his name to those fraudulent financial reports so he could deliver a fatal blow and destroy Dong Chao's career forever. Yu Ci proposed a bold, high-stakes countermove. Instead of investing, she told him to act like a hero of the people. At the following press conference, to the absolute shock of the media and a stunned Jing, Dong Chao announced he was suspending all investment into the wine project due to concerns over transparency. He rebranded himself as a principled leader, protecting the capital of his hometown instead of turning it into dirty money. This move didn't just help him dodge the chairman's trap, it catapulted his reputation to a whole new level, making him virtually untouchable. After the press conference, a furious Jing confronted him, but Dong Chao calmly shut her down. He warned her to stop trying to use her cheap little tricks on him, telling her point blank that Yu Ci's intellect was light years beyond hers. As for the predator Xu Shui, he finally reaped what he sowed and was arrested by the police. Later, at a small stall run by the hearing-impaired, Yu Ci found Tian Tian still shaking with fear, with Chen Mo trying to comfort her. But Yu Ci didn't offer a hug, she offered a harsh reality check. She told Tian Tian straight up that what happened was because she was relying on luck. She told her that the moment she smelled danger, she should have run. Only when you are strong enough, Yu Ci warned, will you stop being prey in someone else's game. Hearing this, Chen Mo began to wonder, did Yu Ci orchestrate this entire situation just to teach a lesson? In that moment, Yu Ci thought back to her mother, Zhao He, who once taught her to live honestly, because only honest people never have their masks ripped off and never have to fear hurting others. But the peace didn't last long. Jing stormed into Yu Ci's office, ready to start a fight. Big mistake. Before she could even finish her sentence, Yu Ci delivered a swift, hard kick that sent her flying to the floor. By the time the staff heard the commotion and ran in, Yu Ci was calmly walking out, leaving behind a terrified, pale-faced Jing. A few days later, Yu Ci pulled the ultimate power move. She showed up at Jing's family home. Seeing Jing's mother struggling alone to care for her paralyzed husband, Yu Ci offered to rent Jing's old bedroom for an incredibly high price. Desperate to get back into Dong Chao's good graces, Jing tried to warn him to watch out for Yu Ci, but Dong Chao just mocked her. He told her she reminded him of himself when he was young, full of ambition, but completely lacking wisdom. He warned her that he saw through all of her moves and that if she tested his patience again, he wouldn't show mercy. Meanwhile, Chen Mo, unable to reach Yu Ci after her sudden move, reached out to Jing for help. He had no idea that by asking her to help advise Yu Ci, he was accidentally handing Jing the fuel for a brand new, dangerous plot. In a quiet moment away from the chaos, Yu Ci sat alone, flipping through an old photo album. She remembered her university days when she and Jing were as close as sisters. In fact, it was Jing who had first introduced her to Mu Ran, the man who would become her first love. But those warm memories were now tainted. To crush Yu Ci once and for all, Jing picked up the phone and called Mu Ran, urging him to return to the country immediately. The next day, Ma Yang pulled Yu Ci aside to reveal a critical piece of intel. Department 3 was just a front for basic analysis. The person who held the real power, the one who made the final calls, was Chen Shi, the vice president of Investment Department 2. During the early morning briefing, as the staff filed into the meeting room, Yu Ci suddenly froze. A familiar male voice, one that chilled her to the bone, echoed from behind her. The sudden return of Mu Ran was like a heavy stone thrown into a still pond, shattering Yu Ci's carefully maintained composure. Seeing his face again caused a flood of agonizing memories to rush back. Without a word of warning, Mu Ran lunged forward and pulled her into a tight, suffocating hug. Yu Ci struggled desperately to break free, stumbling back in a panic, but he only pressed further, spitting out cold, heartless words. He admitted that years ago, he only chose her because she was smart and capable, not because he actually loved her. He sneered that he could never love a crazy person. Pushed to her breaking point, Yu Ci grabbed a cup of coffee and threw it directly into his face, a scene witnessed by the high-ranking Ren Jing. Instantly, the office gossip mill went into overdrive. Rumors spread like a virus. People whispered that Yu Ci had a history of mental instability and had committed disturbing acts in the past. A thick cloud of stigma and fear surrounded her. The only person who didn't seem to care was the office veteran, Bai Dong. Having survived countless corporate wars, he knew exactly who was pulling the strings. He knew Jing was the one who had sabotaged his career years ago. Bai Dong met with Yu Ci, making his stance clear. He didn't care who she was or what side she was on. His only goal was to protect the hard-earned money of the investors. Meanwhile, Ren Jing demanded that Yu Ci submit her personal medical history for a background check, but Yu Ci flatly refused, citing her right to privacy. Acting on Jing's helpful suggestion, Ren Jing invited the psychologist Chen Mo to the office. Yu Ci was furious, accusing Chen Mo of being a pawn in a larger scheme. Just as she was about to storm out, she stopped dead in her tracks. Jing had arrived, and she wasn't alone. She was leading Yu Ci's mother, Zhao He, into the room. The most humiliating memories of her past came crashing back. In a fit of overwhelming trauma, Yu Ci pushed her mother away and fled the building in a total panic. Jing put on a fake performance of comforting Zhao He, but inside, she was ecstatic. Her plan was to trigger Yu Ci into another mental breakdown so she could have her committed to an asylum for good. Wandering the streets, Yu Ci saw a mother and child sharing a warm, tender moment. It felt like a knife to her heart, reminding her of how gentle her own mother used to be. When Chen Mo caught up to her and gently suggested she reconcile with her family, Yu Ci just looked at him with cold, dead eyes. She wasn't back to ask for forgiveness. She was there to demand justice for the years of isolation and abandonment she suffered at the hands of the world. Back at the office, Jing tried to corner Tian in the restroom with a special offer, but Tian, now fueled by hatred, stood her ground. She told Jing that if she made any more trouble, she would sue the entire company. Even though everyone else treated Yu Ci like a leper, Tian chose to sit with her at lunch, revealing she planned to quit. Yu Ci gave her some hard-won advice. Don't run away. There are predators everywhere. When some male colleagues nearby started gossiping about Yu Ci being dangerous, Bai Dong didn't hesitate. He slammed his food tray onto their table, gave them a terrifying warning, and sat down next to Yu Ci to show the entire office he had her back. Despite the pressure, Yu Ci refused Bai Dong's offer of a leave of absence. When Bai Dong noticed two security guards suddenly stationed at the door of Department 3, he exploded in rage at Ren Jing, accusing her of becoming Jing's lapdog. He warned her to open her eyes and see who the real danger to the company was. The heated argument left their relationship in tatters. In another corner of the building, Ma Yang was playing a double game. He met Jing in secret, showing her evidence that Yu Ci had just ordered a knife online. This was Ma Yang's audition to prove his loyalty so he could get a promotion to Department 1. The moment the package arrived, Yu Ci sent a message to Jing, telling her to meet on the rooftop. Jing went, convinced she had already won. She planned to frame Yu Ci for a violent act, finally destroying her reputation once and for all. But when the long-awaited package was finally ripped open, the contents were a total shock. There was no weapon, only a cheerful birthday music box and a serving of boiled duck, a dish Jing absolutely loathed. Losing all sense of composure, Jing snapped. She lunged at Yu Ci, hitting her repeatedly in a blind rage. To any outsider, she looked like a raving lunatic. Combined with her assistant's testimony about her recent erratic behavior, Ren Jing came to a chilling conclusion. Jing was the real danger to the office. It was only then that a horrified Jing realized she had fallen headfirst into a perfectly laid trap. To understand this rivalry, we have to look back 15 years. As a young girl, Jing visited a classmate's mansion. The extreme luxury was a crushing contrast to her own poverty-stricken home. She was forced to eat leftovers, and in a moment of desperate vanity, she stole a guest's clothes to try them on, only to be caught and brutally scolded by her father. Instead of learning a lesson, that day planted a seed of toxic envy and bottomless ambition that would rot her soul forever. Back in the present, the HR department dropped a total bombshell. An official email blast announced that Jing was suspended from all duties, and Vice President Chen Shi would take over Investment Department 1. Desperate, Jing begged Muran for help, but he was already busy plotting to steal her job. He gave her some half-hearted excuses and brushed her off. Meanwhile, Chen Shi didn't hold back. She marched straight into Jing Jing's office to mock her, flat out announcing that she would be the new stepmother in charge of the department. Later, Ren Jing called Yu Ci in for a private meeting, subtly suggesting it was time for her to voluntarily resign from the Li Shen group. But Yu Ci saw right through her. She pointed out that CEO Dong Chao desperately needed a new wind to break the current corporate deadlock, so she wasn't going anywhere. Just as the tension reached a breaking point, Bai Dong suddenly burst in and dragged Yu Ci away, saving her from the interrogation in spectacular fashion. Once they were alone, Bai Dong was buzzing with excitement. He loved that Yu Ci had almost pushed Jing Jing to the edge the night before. He was dying to know her next move and proposed that they officially team up to take down their common enemy. He even came up with a clever secret code for them to use for their private communications. On the other hand, Jing Jing tried to fish for info from Ren Jing about the upcoming staff changes, but she got a cold reality check instead. Ren Jing sternly reminded her that Li Shen wasn't her personal playground and that she needed to remember her place. Even Mu Ran's attempts to brown-nose his way into the Department 1 manager seat failed. When he approached Manager Zhang on the golf course, he was met with total silence. In a surprising twist, CEO Dong Chao invited Yu Ci to a private dinner, not at a five-star hotel, but at a humble local eatery. There, he revealed his master plan to acquire Bai Sai real estate and handed her the blueprints for the Lin Wei renovation project. He made her a massive promise. If she pulled this off, she could have the manager seat in Department 1, 2, or 3, wherever she wanted to sit. But as the saying goes, walls have ears. Manager Zhang's assistant, who owed Jing Jing a favor, risked everything to leak the Lin Wei project documents to her. Armed with this treasure, Jing Jing went straight to Huan Cheng, promising to use this leverage to take down Dong Chao if he helped her get back into the company. But Huan Cheng was starting to doubt her. He coldly told her she needed to produce actual results before she had the right to negotiate with him. Meanwhile, Yu Ci was working the shadows. She asked Kong Fei to investigate the relationship between Jing Jing and Peng Yu. To repay Yu Ci for her past help, Kong Fei spent days tailing Peng Yu. He finally hit the jackpot, snapping photos of the two in an intimate embrace. He also uncovered a massive secret. While Peng Yu held no official title at the Vientiane Group, he had secretly set up Yin Yu Technology, a shell company registered to a suspicious abandoned commercial building. Back at Investment Department 3, the team was feeling discouraged. Ma Yang started analyzing the Lin Wei project, mentioning the involvement of the powerful tycoon Jin Wan. Seeing a golden opportunity to secure his staff's future, Bai Dong decided they had to take on this project. However, during a meeting with Ren Jing, Yu Ci did the unthinkable. She flatly rejected the project. She openly admitted that she was just the knife that manager Zhang used to cut Jing Jing out of the company. By handing such a delicious piece of cake over to their rivals, she sent Bai Dong into a towering rage. He couldn't begin to understand the deep, complex game Yu Ci was really playing. With the help of Peng Yu, Jing Jing gets her hands on classified documents and discovers that the biggest holdout, the one resident refusing to move for the Lin Wei project, is house number 88. The owner? Mr. Xu, her own stepfather. Memories flash back to 12 years ago, when Jing Jing's mother remarried Mr. Xu. Even though her stepfather was a gentle, kind-hearted man, he could never melt Jing Jing's ice-cold, twisted heart. Her malicious nature had been clear as far back as 15 years ago, when she leaked her best friend's private diary to the whole school just out of pure envy. Now, standing on a bridge, Jing Jing pushes her stepfather's wheelchair and uses cold, threatening words to force the old man to sign the house deed over to her. As night falls, Jing Jing's mother is packing up her street stall when she receives a brand new electric wheelchair sent by her daughter. The poor woman is overjoyed, thinking her daughter is finally being a good, filial child, completely unaware that Jing Jing has just secretly robbed them of their home. Watching from a distance, Yu Ci captures everything with her eyes. Her plan isn't just to get Jing Jing fired from the company, it's to make her feel what it's like to lose everything. That is true revenge. The next morning, Chen Mo waits for Yu Ci at a convenience store near her old neighborhood. When she asks why he's helping her, he doesn't say a word, but instead hands her a handwritten letter. The shop owner chimes in, telling Yu Ci that Chen Mo comes here to wait for her all the time and advises her to cherish a man like him. Opening the letter, Yu Ci is moved by Chen Mo's sincere encouragement. He notes that her mental health is improving and praises her as a strong, brave, and captivating woman. He urges her to open her heart to the world, reminding her that outside of schemes and jealousy, there is still pure joy worth cherishing. He ends the letter with a poignant message. If the past is a burden, he hopes she finds the courage to move past it and keep going forward. Soon after, the entire Linwei project is officially transferred to Chen Shi. She doesn't hesitate to seize Jing's old office, even ordering people to completely redecorate the interior. Jing's assistant tries to block her, demanding that Chen Shi negotiate first. But over the phone, Jing coldly warns Chen Shi that this project was just a handout from Yu Ci, and she better figure out who the real enemy is. Those words weigh heavily on Chen Shi, and she storms off in a foul mood. Because Yu Ci gave up the highly profitable Linwei project, the rest of her department still treats her with hostility. Only Tian remains loyal. The two of them visit the stall of Nuanua, the hearing-impaired girl, and run into Chen Mo again. The alley is about to be demolished, and Nuanua's best friend is moving away. Watching the two little girls cling to each other in tears, Yu Ci and Tian can't help but feel a pang of sadness. Just then, Kuan Yu, the owner of the spicy snack stall, stands on a high point with a megaphone to announce the end of Linwei. The compensation money will flow into the owner's pockets, but the vendors who have built their lives here for decades can only take their memories and leave. A crowd gathers, and voices rise in a song, a raw, sincere farewell to the last sunset of their little alley. That evening, Chen Mo drives Yu Ci home and asks if she'll ever consider letting go of the past to start over. She gives him a firm no. As he watches her walk away, Chen Mo remembers the very first day she entered the treatment center. She was the first person who ever truly caught his attention. To solve the housing crisis for the small vendors, Yu Ci submits a new proposal to manager Jing. This move makes Bai Dong incredibly angry. Yu Ci takes Tian to meet Lu Feng for advice and tries to contact the management of the Yinyu commercial building, but they are flatly rejected by people who look down on small-time businesses. Yu Ci tells Tian to dig deeper and find out who the real boss is. It turns out to be Peng Yu. Yu Ci realizes this is her most powerful trump card. Meanwhile, Assistant Cao secretly leaks Yu Ci's plan to Jing, telling her to find an opportunity to profit from the Linwei project. Knowing Jing is short on cash, Peng Yu calls her and offers his financial support. Later, he leads a group of people into the Yinyu commercial building, declaring that this place will be their headquarters to take down the Li Shen group once and for all. Peng Yu's subordinates report back to him. Yu Ci was here this morning to talk business. Meanwhile, Xu Sheng, Yu Ci's father, who had previously made a little money in the stock market thanks to a tip from Jing, is being lured into another trap. Jing dangles the Linwei project in front of him, subtly manipulating him into buying up a dozen houses in the alleyway before the company officially buys them out for a profit. Because he's short on cash, Xu Sheng tries to raid Yu Ci's personal savings, but her mother, Zhao He, fiercely objects, leading to a massive screaming match between the couple. With Kong Fei's help, Yu Ci discovers a crucial piece of leverage. Peng Yu's family has an old, bitter grudge against manager Jiang. She uses this as her in to approach him, proposing a deal. Let the small vendors move into his commercial building to create a gourmet food street. It would generate massive buzz and provide the perfect cover for his underground activities. To seal the deal, Yu Ci paints a picture of a gold mine if this street takes off. It'll be a money-printing machine. Peng Yu, eager to stick it to manager Jing, takes the bait and agrees to the partnership. As the project starts to move, Yu Ci buys snacks for her colleagues to soften the office tension, emphasizing that Department 3 needs to stick together. Then, Tian steps in to explain the heart of the project. The food street isn't just business, it's about preserving a way of life and the human connections of the neighborhood. Her words actually touch the cynical hearts of Wang Meng and Ma Yang. Even though he's moved, Bai Dong keeps up his cold exterior, reminding Yu Ci that reality is a lot harsher than your ideals. Soon, the office is buzzing with rumors about Yu Ci's South Food Street project, and most people think she's living in a fantasy world. Wang Meng, who has worked with Bai Dong for years, notes that Yu Ci is exactly like him, two lonely souls fighting for what they believe in. It turns out that 7 years ago, Bai Dong and Ren Jing were actually a couple. But because of a promise to a dying best friend to care for his family and help patients with rare diseases, Bai Dong sacrificed his own happiness. He spent years traveling for this cause, refusing to give up even after manager Zhang rejected him time and time again. Suddenly, a hospital director calls Bai Dong with shocking news. An anonymous donor has given a massive sum to his rare disease project. The only condition? Bai Dong has to be there in person. When he arrives, he's stunned to see Ming Xuan walk in. Old Chen, a patient's relative, bows deeply in gratitude to them both. Confused as to how Ming Xuan got so much money, Bai Dong listens as Ming Xuan confesses. The money actually came from Yu Ci. She was the one who inspired him to atone for his sins and rebuild his life. Seeing Ming Xuan's transformation and the fulfillment of his old friend's wish, Bai Dong finally changes his mind about Yu Ci's project. He officially announces the launch of the project on the company's group chat. The next morning, seeing the whole department working with fire in their eyes, Yu Ci finally feels a sense of peace. Even manager Zhang is shocked that she managed to win over the stubborn Bai Dong. Hearing that a man named Lu Feng has appeared at Lin Wei, manager Zhang goes to visit him personally. Lu Feng is waiting for him and hands over an internal report on a green materials company, mentioning that Yu Ci was the one who sent it. As the project officially kicks off, Bai Dong feels a weight lift off his shoulders. He tells Yu Ci that the atmosphere at Li Shen Group is suffocating, like a hospital where no one knows how to smile, and he hopes she can finally learn to relax. In a dark twist, Xu Sheng has successfully stolen Yu Ci's money and taken out extra loans to buy 10 kiosks, betting everything on Jing's tip. Watching the transaction go through, Jing smiles, remembering how she used her fake concern 5 years ago to drive a permanent wedge between Yu Ci and her father. Once the old landlords get their compensation, they immediately order the small vendors to get out. Tian Tian begs for a company order to help the locals move their belongings, but Chen Si cruelly shuts her down. Chen Si goes even further, issuing a malicious decree. Any moving company that helps these vendors will be blacklisted by the Li Shen Group forever. However, Bai Dong and Old Chen have already moved in the shadows. They secretly mobilized a fleet of independent trucks and successfully helped the families move out without a hitch. Seeing everything go smoothly, Yu Ci is finally able to breathe. She treats the entire department to a lavish celebratory dinner. Meanwhile, Jing finishes a smug phone call with Xu Sheng, convinced she has the winning hand. All of her old, calculated schemes are finally coming to a head. The roots of this bitterness go back 5 years. At the time, Jing's mother used a connection at a bank to find a job for Yu Ci. Being a loyal friend, Yu Ci instead recommended Jing for the position. However, Jing accidentally overheard the bank staff trashing her skills and saying they only wanted Yu Ci. To save face, Jing lied and claimed she was turning down the job to go to grad school, but from that day on, a poisonous hatred for Yu Ci began to rot her heart. Back in the present, Jing goes to her stepfather's house and plays her final card. She reveals she has already transferred the house deed to her name and demands her mother pack up and leave immediately. Her mother is paralyzed by her daughter's cold-bloodedness. She doesn't realize that Jing's soul was warped from childhood, having been dragged from one man to another by her mother. Now, Jing throws a bank card at her mother, telling her and her stepfather to vanish from her life forever. Her mother, devastated, pushes the card back, refusing her daughter's insulting charity. In a warmer corner of the city, the Department 3 team is having a hot pot dinner. Bai Dong finally asks the question on everyone's mind. Why would someone as brilliant as Yu Ci stay hidden in their low-tier department? Yu Ci smiles softly and tells them it's because everyone here still has their original heart. It's the only place she feels a flicker of human warmth. Her words touch the entire team, and Bai Dong vows that from now on, the whole department will stand on the front lines with her no matter what. Seeking a way back into power, Jing takes the stolen house deeds to manager Zhang. He doesn't make any promises, but he treats her to a bowl of fried noodles, making her think she's finally regained his trust. Little does she know, Yu Ci met with Jing's mother that same night and promised she would protect that house at all costs. The next day, Yu Ci meets with manager Zhang and exposes a massive scam by their rival Jin Wan. He's been spreading fake urban redevelopment rumors to monopolize green materials. Yu Ci makes it clear, if manager Zhang controls this card, he holds all the power in the Bai-C merger. So when Jing gleefully shows up with the deeds to prove her worth, manager Zhang coldly informs her that she has already lost again to Yu Ci. He warns her to stop dreaming about being the fisherman who profits while others fight. Bitter and empty-handed, Jing calls Yu Ci's father, Xu Sheng. She cries her eyes out, manipulating him into thinking Yu Ci is ruining her life, successfully inciting the old man to go after his own daughter. Meanwhile, Ren Jing orders Chen Shi to hand over all her project files, leaving the vice president fuming. Chen Shi tries to argue with manager Zhang, but she's blocked at the door. Furious, she storms over to Yu Ci to vent her rage. Yu Ci doesn't flinch. She mocks Chen Shi, calling her someone who used her body to climb the ladder, and tells her she's not even in the same league as Jing, let alone fit to stand there and act superior. Finally, the gourmet food street in the commercial building is complete, a perfect recreation of the old Linwei alley. The community gathers to celebrate, and Chen Mo quietly snaps photos of their happy moments. On the other side of town, Jing and Mu Ran accidentally run into Peng Yu on a golf course. Jing and Peng Yu act like total strangers, but the moment Mu Ran's back is turned, the two of them sneak off to a hotel together. During their secret tryst, a random comment from Peng Yu sparks a new plan in Jing's head. She goes to visit Mu Ran's grandmother, Bai Yu, a legendary figure who happens to be manager Zhang's former mentor. Using her damsel in distress act, Jing sighs about being forced on to leave, successfully tricking the grandmother into wanting to interfere with the company's affairs. Back at the office, Ren Jing pays Chen Mo his fee and asks him point blank if he's actually falling for Yu Ci. She demands a new psychological evaluation of Yu Ci, suspecting he's lost his professional objectivity. Suddenly, the silence is shattered as Xu Sheng storms into the office. In front of everyone, he delivers a thunderous slap to Yu Ci's face. Bai Dong immediately tackles the old man to the ground, while the rest of the department swarms around Yu Ci to protect her. Amidst the chaos, Chen Mo appears, and the crowd's collective condemnation forces a disgruntled Xu Sheng to leave. Heartbroken and humiliated, Yu Ci wanders aimlessly to the riverbank, her tears flowing uncontrollably. Chen Mo follows her, silently, patiently encouraging her to let it all out and lighten the burden on her heart. Finally, Yu Ci breaks. She collapses into his arms and sobs like a summer rainstorm, her tears soaking through his shirt as she finally lets go of years of suppressed pain. Once Yu Ci had finally calmed down from the trauma of her father's attack, Chen Mo went to settle the score. He tracked down Xu Sheng, and without saying a single word of explanation, he forced the old man into a restroom and locked him inside. He delivered a bone-chilling warning. If Xu Sheng ever dared to touch a single hair on Yu Ci's head again, he wouldn't just be dealing with a daughter, he'd be dealing with a man who would make his life a living hell. Early the next morning, CEO Dong Chao summoned Ren Jing. He ordered her to organize the Limit Forum, a massive, high-stakes competition between the three investment departments, promising a huge bonus for the winning team. But before the competition could even begin, Bai Yu called. Dong Chao rushed to the dinner his mentor had arranged, only to find Jing sitting there with a smug smile. Years ago, Dong Chao was just a poor kid with nothing. It was entirely thanks to Bai Yu's sponsorship that he was able to study abroad and build his career. The Bai family is his ultimate backbone, and Qing Yu is the one person who can pull the plug on his entire empire at any moment. During the meal, Qing Yu dropped a heavy hint, reminding him that those who forget their debts of gratitude are no better than animals. Dong Chao got the message loud and clear. He stood up to pour her tea, but in a power move that said everything, Qing Yu handed the cup straight to Jing. Jing drank it with a smirk, calling her grandmother with sickening intimacy. Just like that, Jing was back at the Lin Shen group, more powerful than ever. Her first move? She sent a massive bouquet of flowers to her rival Chen Shi. At first, Chen Shi thought they were from Dong Chao, but Jing quickly set her straight. She proposed an unholy alliance. They weren't enemies, they were partners. Only by working together to destroy Yu Ci, she argued, can we both keep our positions. Meanwhile, in the Department 3 war room, Tian was presenting the data they had painstakingly gathered. She revealed that while the Lin Wei project looked like a simple land buy on the surface, the real gold mine was the massive profit from renovating the old houses. Bai Dong pointed out the catch. No matter who owned the land, the renovation rights would inevitably fall to the tycoon Jin Wan, a shark who never lets a meal that big get away. Over the next few days, Yu Ci and the team worked in perfect harmony. They split up to contact major industry bosses and quickly secured a powerful coalition of green building material companies. Seeing the pressure, Chen Shi tried to play dirty. She dressed in a provocative outfit and brought late-night snacks to Dong Chao's office, using her charms to beg for a fair shot against Department 3. But deep down, Chen Shi was terrified because she wasn't prepared. Jing, however, had already handled the dirty work. She personally called Ma Yang and ordered him to steal Department 3's project files before the big pitch. The morning before the forum, Ren Jing met with Yu Ci in private. She dropped a bombshell. The HR department was planning to cast their vote for Department 3. She believed in Yu Ci's talent and knew she could convince Dong Chao. More importantly, she hinted that she knew Yu Ci had a mission to complete and people to protect. Yu Ci finally realized the truth. Ren Jing had been silently looking out for Bai Dong this entire time. The day of the pitch finally arrived. Team 3 was ready to change the game, but Chen Shi was called to present first. As she spoke, the room went cold. Her entire presentation was a carbon copy of Department 3's plan. There was a mole in the room. When it was Yu Ci's turn to take the stage, she did the unthinkable. She voluntarily gave up her right to present. Bai Dong exploded in a fury, openly accusing Chen Shi and Jing of intellectual theft. But the damage was done. Dong Chao needed a concrete answer for the board, and since Department 3 had surrendered, he officially awarded the green materials contract to Department 2. Immediately after, Bai Dong called an emergency meeting to root out the traitor. Yu Ci slowly looked up and locked eyes with Wang Meng. As their gazes met, the truth was revealed in a flashback to the previous day. Jing had discovered Wang Meng's medical records she was pregnant. Because the Li Sheng group has a ruthless policy of firing low-efficiency staff, and Department 3 was at the top of the chopping block, Wang Meng was terrified. Jing and Chen Shi had cornered her, using a mix of threats and a tempting bribe. "Give us the data, and we'll transfer you to the safety of Department 2. In a jaw-dropping twist, it turns out Yu Ci had heard every single word of the conversation between Jing, Chen Shi, and Wang Meng. Seeing Wang Meng trapped in a state of agonizing confusion and distress over her pregnancy and her job, Yu Ci made a bold move. She didn't get angry, instead she personally sent the project files to Jing and told Wang Meng to play along to fake the betrayal and infiltrate the enemy camp. As a result, Wang Meng was officially transferred to Investment Department 2. Bai Dong, believing he had lost a talented employee to a traitor, had an explosive argument with Ren Zheng. Meanwhile, Ma Yang and Tian took to the group chat to blast Wang Meng as a backstabber, but she endured the insults in total silence. On the other side of the corporate ladder, Mu Ran found himself in a pathetic situation. He still hadn't been reinstated, and he learned from CEO Dong Chao that Jing had effectively stolen his position. When he confronted her, Jing put on an Oscar-worthy performance, crying and blaming everything on the grandmother, Qing Yu. Mu Ran was left stunned and confused. His mother had lost her standing in the family, and his grandmother clearly had no intention of letting him handle the business. Qing Yu delivered a cold warning to her grandson. Stay in your place as a wealthy playboy and stay out of the company's affairs. Seeing this discarded pawn, Yu Ci decided it was time to move him across her chessboard to serve her own goals. That evening, Chen Mo waited for Yu Ci at the company gates. He tried to express his feelings for her in a subtle, gentle way, but Yu Ci shut him down. She told him she was used to walking alone. Immediately after, she reached out and set up a meeting with Mu Ran. To understand her move, we have to look back 3 years. Mu Ran had originally approached Yu Ci with dark intentions, encouraging her to use her genius to found their company, Dao Sha. All 4 of them had raised their glasses back then, swearing an oath never to betray one another. Yu Ci believed it. She thought she had found love, friendship, and success all at once. In reality, Jing and Mu Ran were sneaking around behind her back, sleeping together and plotting move after move to push her into the abyss. Even now, faced with his past lies, Mu Ran showed zero remorse. He shamelessly claimed that everyone was at fault 3 years ago, and that his only mistake was failing to resist temptation. Yu Ci knew exactly who he was, but she choked down her rage. She told him point blank that in the eyes of his family, he was now a useless, incompetent failure. She pointed out that Qing Yu would much rather groom a capable daughter-in-law like Jing than trust him. "If you want a way to survive," she told him, "your only choice is to work with me to take down Jing." Despite being read like an open book, Mu Ran still refused, sneering that he would never work with a crazy person. So Yu Ci pivoted. She began digging into Mu Ran's bank records. Because the late Li Qiang's online gambling platform was registered in Southeast Asia, the money moved through a maze of discrete accounts, making the paper trail almost impossible to follow. However, Mu Ran had spent several months in Southeast Asia recently, a coincidence that gave Yu Ci a very good reason to believe the two were connected. The next morning, Wang Meng arrived for her first day at Department 2. The office was a hive of activity, and everyone ignored her. Watching from the doorway, Chen Shi was originally annoyed, thinking Jing had forced a new hire on her, only to discover that it was Ren Zheng who had arranged the transfer. When Dong Chao found out, he summoned Ren Zheng to demand an explanation. Ren Zheng argued that Wang Meng held the key data for the green materials project, which was vital for the company. But she also admitted to a personal motive. She wanted to downsize Department 3 to protect them. She begged Dong Chao to scrap the layoff policy for Bai Dong's department. Dong Chao, who had always trusted Ren Zheng with the heavy lifting, understood her good intentions. Sadly, Bai Dong was still completely blind to the sacrifices Ren Zheng was making for him. Years ago, when they were choosing the head of Department 1, Ren Zheng had abruptly transferred Bai Dong to Department 3, which shattered their relationship. Jing, however, saw through the act. She realized that while Ren Zheng acted like Bai Dong's rival, she was actually his secret guardian. Jing knew that if Bai Dong kept fighting her, his ending would be even more tragic. But Jing had her own problems brewing. Yu Ci's father, Shu Sheng, had been cornered by debt collectors and was at the end of his rope. Terrified and desperate, he picked up the phone to beg Jing for a way out. On the surface, Jing acts like a savior, quickly agreeing to help Yu Ci's father, Shu Sheng. But behind his back, she's playing a lethal game. She contacts a ruthless thug named Brother Biao and tells him to teach Shu Sheng a lesson before leaking Yu Ci's private phone number to him. The consequences are immediate and terrifying. Yu Ci is flooded with harassing phone calls, and Shu Sheng's house is vandalized with splashes of ominous red paint. Unable to take the psychological pressure, Yu Ci's mother, Zhao He, is forced to sign a debt guarantee. Seeing their suffering, Chen Mo steps in and hands Zhao He his own bank card to pay off the debt. Yu Ci happens to witness this act of pure selflessness from the shadows. In the middle of the night, Chen Mo sits on a stone bench outside a convenience store and calls Yu Ci. He opens up about his childhood, how he went from a happy family of 3 to losing both parents in a sudden tragedy. He admits that a thirst for revenge nearly pushed him over the edge into a life of darkness. But at his lowest moment, a little girl handed him an umbrella, a small act of kindness that woke him up and stopped him from throwing his life away. As he grew up, he tracked down that girl, and it was Yu Ci. Listening to the soothing sound of Chen Mo's voice, Yu Ci finally drifts into a peaceful sleep. When she wakes up the next morning and finds that he sat on that bench outside her house all night just to protect her, she buys him breakfast with a radiant, genuine smile that hasn't been seen on her face in years. Meanwhile, over at Investment Department 2, Wang Meng is being treated like a slave, forced to do everyone's menial errands. When the Green Materials Project finally hits a massive breakthrough, the vice president, Chen Shi, plays a disgusting trick. She publicly thanks Wang Meng for her hard work, then immediately uses her own pregnancy as an excuse to take over the project and hand the actual credit to someone else. Jing's assistant, Tina, watches this unfold and feels a deep sense of injustice for Wang Meng. During lunch, Yu Ci brings a coffee to Wang Meng and reminds her of Ren Jing's secret advice. She has to endure. Only by staying inside Department 2 can Wang Meng gain access to the full project data needed to destroy Chen Shi. Hearing this, Wang Meng snaps out of her despair and realizes the brilliance of Yu Ci's plan. Eventually, Wang Meng manages to secure the smoking gun core evidence that proves Chen Shi's professional misconduct. Using that evidence, Ren Jing launches a formal investigation. Despite Chen Shi's desperate denials, she is discarded like a piece of trash. The Green Materials Project is officially moved back to Department 3. This doesn't just clear Wang Meng's name and earn her the respect of her peers for her undercover endurance, it also makes Bai Dong's promotion to vice president of the entire Li Shen group look like a sure thing. Everyone swarms Bai Dong with fake flattery, calling him boss. Though he tries to stay humble, the moment he enters his office, he can't stop a smug, triumphant grin from spreading across his face. But Jing has calculated 10 moves ahead. She is certain Bai Dong won't get the job. Knowing CEO Dong Chao's management style, she predicts he will promote someone with extraordinary talent but no baggage, someone like Yu Ci. Why? Because Dong Chao refuses to allow high-ranking executives to have factions or close friends within the company. If Yu Ci is made VP to oversee the green materials acquisition, she will immediately be alienated and boycotted by her own team in Department 3. Jing won't even have to lift a finger. The collective jealousy of the office will destroy Yu Ci for her. At the same time, Yu Ci is weaving her own web. She plans to exploit the greed and rivalry between Jing and Muran, baiting them until they turn into rabid animals and tear each other apart. Suddenly, a mysterious organization calling itself the America Society sends Yu Ci an email. To prove their identity and sincerity, they attach a bombshell, a childhood photo of Jing with her biological father. Around the same time, Jing's mother visits Yu Ci, curiously asking why a girl with her own home would choose to rent a room from her. Yu Ci just gives a cryptic answer. It's a long story. I'll tell you when the time is right. In another part of the city, Dong Chao and his wife, Lin, visit the Kaiming School for the Deaf for a corporate donation event. They happen to find Chen Mo there, playing happily with the children. Impressed, Dong Chao immediately puts Chen Mo in charge of the company's new fundraising campaign. Meanwhile, a desperate Muran tries to talk to Ren Jing about returning to work. But Ren Jing just delivers Dong Chao's cold message. He should continue to rest and recover, as his projects have already been handed over to other departments. At this moment, Muran finally realized he had been turned into a useless spare tire. Panicked and desperate, he sped his car directly to the company to intercept Yu Ci, bluntly proposing that the two of them team up to take down Jing. Because Yu Ci didn't want to drag Chen Mo into this dangerous whirlpool of corporate warfare, she acted as if she didn't see Chen Mo standing on the sidewalk and coldly stepped into Muran's car. Sitting in the back seat, Yu Ci slowly revealed a piece of earth-shattering news. The new energy electric vehicle project called Hang Seng, which everyone thought was bankrupt, had suddenly resurrected. It had just received a staggering investment of $1 billion from a shadowy organization known as the America Society. The background of this organization was a total mystery. Some rumored it was backed by Middle Eastern oil tycoons, while others claimed it was the face of elite American capital. All anyone knew for sure was that they moved massive amounts of cash into high-scale projects with terrifying efficiency. Yu Ci's ulterior motive began to surface as she spoke. Currently, the Bai family's business is aggressively trying to court the American society, which would surely become a massive roadblock for CEO Dong Chao's acquisition plans. Therefore, whoever could help Dong Chao establish a connection with this mysterious society first would seize control of Department 1, the most decisive position in the company. Hearing this, Mu Ran immediately sprang into action. He went to his grandmother to dig for info and quickly confirmed that the American society was indeed a rising, mysterious financial titan, and the exact target Dong Chao was desperately hunting. Finally, the day of the Limit Forum arrived. The heavy hitters of the Li Shen group were all in attendance, except for two people, Dong Chao and Yu Ci. Bai Dong sat there, smugly convinced that the vice president's chair was already his. However, Ren Jing pulled him back to reality, reminding him that in this company, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. As if on cue, Dong Chao made a grand theatrical entrance at the very last second, and walking right beside him was Yu Ci. The opening act of the event featured the children from the Kai Ming School for the Deaf, and Yu Ci was stunned to see Chen Mo on stage, gently supporting the kids. Meanwhile, Mu Ran was busy making moves, introducing himself to Kong Fei. As Dong Chao took the stage to give his speech, Mu Ran cornered Chen Mo in the back, delivering a poisonous warning. Don't delude yourself into thinking Yu Ci has feelings for you. The woman standing there now is cold, emotionless, and only cares about power, not people. Just as Chen Mo and Mu Ran returned to the hall, Dong Chao's voice boomed over the speakers. He officially announced the appointment of Yu Ci as the vice president of Li Shen Group while maintaining her direct control over Investment Department 3. The hall exploded. Applause mingled with shocked whispers. Bai Dong, watching the woman who was once his subordinate now sit high above him, turned pale. He could only clap his hands rhythmically like a broken machine, his face a mask of humiliation. Yu Ci herself was caught off guard. She thought she was the one playing the game, but she realized she had fallen into Dong Chao's trap. He had raised her up high just to make the fall more fatal. One wrong move now, and she would plunge into the abyss. After the event, Ren Jing stayed behind to drink with a dejected Bai Dong. Facing his bitter misunderstandings, she finally spoke the truth. Bai Dong was the one who truly wanted to stay at Li Shen, and everything she had done, every cold move and every betrayal, was strictly to protect him. This revelation hit Bai Dong like a lightning bolt. All the resentment between them vanished in an instant. He tightly took Ren Jing's hand and asked her to go for a walk. Through a veil of tears, Ren Jing finally let out a radiant, happy laugh. After the forum, Dong Chao took Yu Ci to his favorite spot for fried noodles. During the meal, he dropped another bombshell. The manager's seat for Department 2 was currently vacant, and he wanted her to run both Department 2 and Department 3. This, of course, was a direct declaration of war against the interests of Jing and Mu Ran. To put Dong Chao's mind at ease, Yu Ci assured him that she knew how to ride the current, using the rival forces around her as a ladder to climb even higher. 5 years ago, Yu Ci was a genius in everyone's eyes, but she was also the helpless prey of Jing's schemes. Back then, Yu Ci was still an innocent dreamer. She was busy studying with Jing to become a graduate student under Professor Han, and she was even starting to date Mu Ran. But that period of her life taught her a lesson that changed her forever. Every story has a side A and a side B. The beautiful friendship and romance she thought she had was side A, the facade. The shifty glances and secret actions of those two behind her back, that was side B, the dark, ugly truth she had ignored. Once she learned to see the side B of every relationship, she mastered the art of manipulation. That evening, Jing received an anonymous Lego box. Inside, hidden among the pieces, was an old photo of her and her father from when she was a child. On the back, one name was written in bold: Yu Ci. Jing immediately called to demand what she wanted. Knowing that Jing's father was her one true weakness, Yu Ci issued an ultimatum. In tomorrow's briefing, you must make a choice that satisfies me. In exchange, I'll give you a lead on your father's whereabouts. After hanging up, Jing stared at the man in the photo, lost in a sea of memories. When her parents divorced, her life plummeted from a luxury mansion to a literal slum. That trauma, combined with her mother's constant string of new husbands, made Jing project all her hopes for a home onto her father. She stubbornly believed her mother was the reason their family fell apart and the reason she became so twisted. Even after all these years, her father was the only anchor she had, and that old mansion was the only place she ever felt happy. The next morning, Yu Ci put on a high-end suit that Dong Chao had prepared for her. He gave her a subtle warning. There will be many more outfits in the future. In this world, you become whatever you wear. During the morning briefing, Muran nominated himself for the head of Department 2 position. He was so confident, he assumed Jing would have his back. But when it came time to vote, the results were a total shock. Out of everyone in the room, only Yu Ci voted for Muran. Every other vote, including Jing, went to Yu Ci. Back in the office, Muran went into a blind rage, screaming at Jing for betraying him. Jing coldly shut him down, reminding him that fighting Dong Chao head-on right now was a suicide mission. "You'd only be inviting disaster," she sneered. Muran stormed out, fuming. Only then did Jing contact Yu Ci to demand her information. Yu Ci revealed that her father used to work for the America Society. If she wanted answers, she had to find that organization. Jing suddenly remembered Peng Yu mentioning that Tong Fei seemed to be in contact with people from the America Society. Luckily, she had snagged Tong Fei's contact info earlier. At the same time, Yu Ci met with Tong Fei in secret. She told him that if Jing came asking about the America Society, he should play hard to get and stall for time. "Wait for the perfect moment," she said, "and I'll arrange for you two to meet." Tong Fei expressed suspicion about Shen Mo, wanting to dig into his background, but Yu Ci shut him down instantly. She warned Tong Fei to stay in his lane and keep providing useful intel. If he did, she'd keep feeding him valuable tips. The history between these two goes back 3 years. Back then, Tong Fei was just a nobody in the media world. He happened to witness Yu Ci injuring her own mother before being hauled off to the treatment center. Afterward, Yu Ci reached out to him and asked for an interview. She read him like a book, calling out his failing career and promising to make him a star blogger. She leaked Dong Chao's internal files to him, giving him the scoop of a lifetime that skyrocketed him to fame. Back at the company, Ren Jing called Yu Ci in to gauge her attitude toward Bai Dong. Yu Ci made it clear her stance hadn't changed, which finally put Ren Jing at ease. Immediately after, Ren Jing officially merged Department 2 and Department 3, putting Yu Ci in total control. Her power within the company had just exploded. Bai Dong, along with Ma Yang and Wang Ming, were moved into Department 2. To any outsider, the relationship between Bai Dong and Yu Ci looked completely shattered. When Yu Ci messaged the department group chat to talk business, Bai Dong flatly refused to engage and kicked her out of the group in front of everyone. But that night, the truth came out. Far away from the office spies, the two of them were sitting together, peacefully sharing a pot of hot pot. It turns out that Bai Dong was smarter than he let on. He knew exactly how Dong Chao's mind worked. The CEO would never allow Yu Ci to have a powerful ally like him by her side. So Bai Dong decided to beat him at his own game. The two of them staged a massive falling out for the public. On the surface, they had ripped each other's faces off, but behind closed doors, they were a perfectly synchronized team, each being the secret backup the other could count on. In another part of the city, Muran cornered Yu Ci, trying to act like a tough guy. He threatened her, saying that if she dared to team up with Jing against him, he'd make them both pay a heavy price. But with the backing of the Bai family, Muran thought he was untouchable. To Yu Ci, however, he was nothing more than a clown. She revealed the cold truth. Jing was so desperate to block his promotion that she was already working with her mortal enemy, Yu Ci herself. Then Yu Ci dropped the hammer. She tossed a stack of photos onto the table, showing Jing in a very intimate session with Peng Yu. Muran's face went white as he realized he was wearing a massive green hat. His girlfriend was cheating on him right under his nose. Meanwhile, Jing, fresh off her secret tryst with Peng Yu, was trying to pump him for info about Tong Fei and the mysterious American Society. Unfortunately, Peng Yu was a total airhead and knew absolutely nothing. Annoyed and disappointed, Jing got dressed and walked out on him instantly. Then, the big shark Jin Wan arrived at the Li Shen group to confront Dong Chao. Jin Wan didn't hold back. He sneered at Dong Chao's low-class origins, claiming it was laughable for a grasshopper like him to think he could shake the 100-year foundation of the Bai C group. Right in the middle of their argument, the America Society called. Jin Wan intentionally put it on speaker to gloat, before literally swiping the green materials files off Dong Chao's desk with his cane. He arrogantly declared that Li Shen wouldn't be acquiring Bai C. Instead, Bai C was going to swallow Li Shen whole. But Yu Ci was busy building her own empire. Under her secret arrangement, Jing's mother, Mrs. Bai, and her stepfather, Mr. Shu, were moved into a massive, high-tech mansion complete with a state-of-the-art rehabilitation room. They were living like royalty. But as we know, there's no such thing as a free lunch. In exchange, Yu Ci required the mother to step into a new role. She was to become the public face of the America Society as the prestigious Madame Bai. Yu Ci provided everything: designer clothes, luxury jewelry, and even a private tutor to teach her how to walk, talk, and act like a high society mogul. The stage was set. Tong Fi met with Jing and handed her an invitation to the society's gala, successfully baiting her into the trap. On the corporate front, Dong Chao reached out to Mu Ran, hinting that Li Shen and Mu Ran's family business, Bak Nyep, were basically on the same team. Mu Ran took the hint immediately. He volunteered to be the middleman for the America Society on one condition: Dong Chao had to fire Jing and give him the manager seat in Department 1. The night of the grand gala arrived. The hall was filled with the city's most powerful elites, but Jing felt like something was off. Suddenly, the host's voice boomed. "Please welcome Madame Bai of the America Society." Jing watched in total horror as her own mother stepped out, looking like a billionaire queen. She was paralyzed. She couldn't expose the truth, because if she did, her own poor and lowly roots would be revealed to the entire world. Jing dragged Yu Ci into a corner to confront her, but Yu Ci just laughed. She mocked her as a hypocrite, pointing out that if she actually loved her mother, she would have introduced her to society years ago. Yu Ci knew this move was a bit unethical, but for her revenge, she was willing to play dirty. Following Yu Ci's gaze, Jing saw Mu Ran desperately sucking up to her mother, the great Madame Bai. Her mother followed the script perfectly. No matter what Mu Ran asked for, she just nodded, making him believe he had hit the jackpot. When the party ended, Jing cornered Mu Ran for a showdown. But Mu Ran didn't flinch. He immediately threw the affair with Peng Yu in her face. With their secrets out and their interests at stake, the two lovers finally dropped their masks, tearing into each other like rabid animals with absolutely no mercy left. Jing sneered as she delivered a chilling warning to Mu Ran. "Don't you dare forget the filthy crimes we committed together years ago." She reminded him how they conspired to destroy Yu Ci. One of them hid a knife in her office to make her look dangerous, while the other secretly swapped her medication. It was their cold-blooded partnership that pushed Yu Ci to the brink, causing her to lose control and accidentally injure her own mother, Zhao He. That same night, the plot thickened. CEO Dong Chao received a package from Jing exposing Madame Bai as a complete fraud. She wasn't a billionaire mogul, just a small-time street vendor. Yu Ci didn't deny it. She stood before Dong Chao and admitted she had used his reputation and her own fake plan as bait. Her goal? To force the real American society to finally step out of the shadows. It worked perfectly. The counselor of the actual American society reached out to Yu Ci. He promised to grant her every wish for revenge, but he remained tight-lipped about the identity of the big boss behind the organization. He left her with one firm statement. He was under strict orders to cooperate with her to the very end. Realizing she'd been played, Jing rushed like a maniac to house number 88 in Linwei to find her mother, but the house was already empty. Enraged, she sent a threatening text to Yu Ci. Since Yu Ci had dragged her family into this, Jing was ready to go after Yu Ci's parents with everything she had. Meanwhile, Yu Ci's father, Shu Shang, was desperate. He went to Jing begging for help, only to be met with her poisonous, mocking insults. It was only after he went to the hospital for a brain scan that the horrific truth hit him. He had been scammed by Jing all along. With tears streaming down his face, he called Zhao He, sobbing about how sorry he was for failing their daughter. The emotional shock was too much. He suffered a severe medical emergency and fell into a deep coma. Yu Ci and her mother rushed to the hospital. Although the doctors saved his life, the damage to his brain was severe. The chances of Shu Shang ever waking up were incredibly slim. Thinking of her mother's future, Yu Ci gritted her teeth and took on the crushing weight of her father's debts alone, facing the creditors head-on. She also secretly paid 3 years of rent in advance for Mrs. Bai and Mr. Shu to ensure they had a roof over their heads, using the excuse that she had to go away on a long business trip. As for Mrs. Bai, after spending time with Yu Ci, she realized the girl was genuinely kind. She began to suspect that her own daughter, Jing, was the true monster behind Yu Ci's past tragedy, and her heart began to overflow with guilt and regret. At this point, the counselor of the America Society reached out to Jing. Using an old photo of her and her father as bait, he promised to give her all the answers she craved if she did one thing for him. She had to plant a listening device in Dong Chao's office. Driven by a desperate need to find her father, Jing called Assistant Cao and used a massive bribe to turn him into her spy. With the green materials acquisition finalized, Yu Ci submitted her resignation. Dong Chao immediately rejected it. To him, she was the ultimate trump card he needed to keep his grip on the Li Shen group. But Yu Ci had more intel. Through the counselor, she obtained the bank records showing Li Cheng's money being funneled overseas. She handed the evidence to Dong Chao, and together they traced the secret account back to its owner, Mu Ran. Suddenly, the Bai C group announced a massive shift in their corporate strategy, pinning Li Shen into a corner. Bai Dong rushed to Yu Ci to brainstorm a defense, but she just smiled. She told him that with his talent, he was more than capable of handling this crisis. As for her, she needed to leave the company to settle her personal blood feuds once and for all. She was handing the vice presidency and all its power back to him, back where it belonged. Blinded by greed, Assistant Cao followed through on his deal with Jing, secretly bugging Dong Chao's office. Meanwhile, at the cemetery, Chairman Li Huancheng stood before the grave of his son, Li Cheng. His heart was heavy as he remembered his son's final desperate cries for help. Dong Chao arrived personally and handed the chairman the file Yu Ci had provided. He told him clearly, "This is the truth about what happened to your son." Since their last encounter at the forum, Yu Ci had gone completely ghost on Chen Mo. Seeking answers, she traveled to the Kai Ming School for the Deaf. There, she made a heartbreaking discovery. Both of Chen Mo's parents were deaf, and they had tragically passed away in an accident many years ago. Despite the deep emotional scars he carries, Chen Mo remains a fighter, never giving up on his journey to heal himself. After leaving the school, Yu Ci stops by the snack stall of Little Nuanhua. When the girl mentions that Chen Mo's birthday is coming up, Yu Ci stays to help her paint a beautiful, heartwarming picture as a gift. Before walking away, Yu Ci leaves a letter with Nuanhua's mother to be delivered to Chen Mo personally. As she looks back at the bustling food street full of the simple, honest breath of life, she feels a rare spark of warmth. But her logic quickly takes over. The path of revenge is not yet finished. She doesn't have the right to stop now. Meanwhile, Jing successfully completes the spy mission for the counselor and receives a mysterious key in return. Following the clues, her face turns ghostly white when she realizes the destination is the home of Professor Han. The dark history of this house comes flooding back. Years ago, bitter and enraged after failing to secure a graduate student slot, Jing broke into Professor Han's office in the middle of the night and framed him for sexual assault. The hallway cameras caught her running away with her clothes disheveled, the ironclad evidence that destroyed the professor's reputation, got him suspended, and left him hospitalized with grief. Now, standing in the middle of his house, Jing trembles as she answers a video call on the computer. On the screen, the face of the father she has been searching for her entire life finally appears. Jing sobs, pouring out all the pain she's endured, and the man on the other side is also drowning in tears. But then, he drops a bombshell that shatters her reality. Jing is not his biological daughter. He had adopted her. And 6 years into the adoption, her biological mother had called the police and framed him for kidnapping just so she could take the girl back. This cruel truth hits Jing like a physical blow, destroying every belief she had about her perfect father. She collapses into a total breakdown. And of course, this bitter, soul-crushing disillusionment was exactly what Yu Ci had planned all along. As Chen Mo's vacation ends, he returns to the Kai Ming School. The principal tells him Yu Ci had been there looking for him, and Nuo's mother hands him the letter and the painting. Panicked, he rushes to the Li Shan group to wait for Yu Ci, only to be hit with a shock. She resigned a long time ago. At the same time, Mu Ran follows Madame Bai's instructions and arrives alone at a designated hotel room. On the large screen in the living room, a slideshow begins to play photos of the 4 friends from years ago, followed by his secret bank statements from Southeast Asia. Madame Bai never shows up. Instead, Yu Ci steps out of the shadows. She ruthlessly exposes his entire criminal history. Mu Ran had been embezzling Li Shen's investment funds to speculate on cryptocurrency. After suffering massive, unrecoverable losses, he targeted the gambling addict Li Qiang. Mu Ran personally built a rigged online gambling platform to funnel Li Qiang's losses into his own offshore accounts. He even dragged Ming Xuan into the debt spiral. Yu Ci mocks him, saying he thought his plan was flawless, but she has every scrap of evidence in her hands. She tells him she is reporting him to the police tomorrow morning. Mu Ran is paralyzed with fear. He realizes he's trapped. Chairman Huan Chen will never let him live. The Bai family will be destroyed because of him. Yu Ci twists the knife, telling him he's a nobody, that even his grandmother, Qing Yu, sees him as nothing more than a pawn to be used and thrown away. These words are the final straw. Fear and rage swallow Mu Ran whole. He grabs a fruit knife from the table and lunges with everything he has, stabbing Yu Ci deep. As she collapses onto the floor, Muran turns pale with terror and flees the scene in a panic. However, Yu Ci was 10 steps ahead, even at the cost of her own blood. She had used the health tracking features on her smartwatch to set an emergency alarm. The moment her vitals dropped, the clock started ticking on the golden 15 minutes for rescue. The moment her heart rate spiked into the danger zone due to massive blood loss and excruciating pain, the smartwatch did exactly what it was programmed to do. It automatically blasted a distress signal and her real-time location to the emergency response center. At that exact critical moment, Chen Mo managed to squeeze the location out of Jing's mother and raced to the hotel. He found Yu Ci clinging to life and rushed her to the hospital, where he could do nothing but wait helplessly outside the operating room as the surgeons fought to save her. While Yu Ci was under the knife, the Bai family was imploding. Qing Yu received a call from Dong Chao informing her of the offshore account scandal. Realizing the empire was at stake, she issued a brutal ultimatum to her grandson, Muran. He was to turn himself in immediately and sever all ties with the Bai family. She would not let him drag the entire corporation into the abyss with him. When she picked up the phone to call her lawyers for an emergency press conference, a panicked Muran tried to stop her. Qing Yu responded with a thunderous slap that shattered his final illusion of familial love. His own mother stood by, watching the whole thing, and simply told him to obey the arrangement. Muran was left in a state of total, soul-crushing despair. Elsewhere, Dong Chao met Jing at a humble vermicelli shop. He calmly placed a listening device on the table. It turned out that from the very moment Jing met with Huan Cheng, Dong Chao had been tracking her every move. Jing thought she was a master manipulator, but she was just a pawn in Dong Chao's larger game. She exploded in rage, realizing he was discarding her now that her usefulness was over. She accused him of being the one who originally hinted that Li Chang was an obstacle, only to now wash his hands of the blood, using her and Muran to dismantle the Li family while he escaped unscathed. Dong Chao looked at her with cold indifference. He told her she was good at calculating, but not nearly smart enough to survive at the top. To him, Jing was just like the bowl of vermicelli on the table, something meant to disappear when it was no longer needed. As he walked away, Jing let out a haunting laugh. She mocked him, saying he used a bowl of noodles to teach her a lesson, but he was no different, just another monster who used any means necessary to climb. She wondered aloud who would eventually turn Dong Chao into the vermicelli to be swallowed whole. Back at the hospital, Yu Ci survived the surgery, but the psychological trauma was too much. She fell into a deep coma, showing no signs of waking up. Chen Mo stayed by her bedside day and night, refusing to leave her side for even a second. Soon, the police arrived at the Bai mansion to investigate Muran for attempted murder, but they were too late. They found his body floating in the family swimming pool. He had drowned. Devastated by the loss of her grandson, Qing Yu's grief quickly turned into a thirst for vengeance against Yu Ci, whom she blamed for the entire tragedy. As the days turned into weeks, Yu Ci remained trapped in her own mind. Her mother, Zhao He, sat at home alone, crying over photos of her daughter. Inside her coma, Yu Ci's consciousness wandered back to a snowy bench at the treatment center. In this dream, Jing approached her slowly. The deep, bone-deep hatred of reality seemed to vanish for a moment. But as Yu Ci leaned her head on Jing's shoulder, the illusion shattered. The dream version of Jing began to mock her, sneering at how her father hated her and her mother had abandoned her. The memory shifted to 3 years ago, the day the medical staff forcibly committed her. She was strapped to a bed, screaming until her throat was raw, but no one listened. Director Han viewed her simply as a subject to be controlled, a number on a chart. Communication was impossible. From that point on, every time they lined up for medication, Yu Ci learned to hide the pills under her tongue. Later, she would spit them into a tissue and hide them under her mattress. Over time, her secret defiance caught the attention of other patients, Da Shi, San Ti, and Professor Yang. Seeing her seemingly stable mental state, Director Han called her in to check on her progress. Yu Ci begged to see her family, but was once again coldly rejected. During a break, Yu Ci sat in the main hall, her eyes locked on Director Han's office. The moment he stepped out, she made her move. She slipped into the office to use the phone. San Tai stood by the window, shouting out the password he had memorized, while a group of other patients formed a human wall to block the guards rushing toward the room. But when the call finally connected, the call she had risked everything for, the person who picked up on the other end was none other than Jing. Back in the asylum, the cruelty reached a new level. Jing lied to Zhao He, telling her that the SOS call from the hospital was just a prank caller, effectively snuffing out Yu Ci's last hope of reaching her mother. When Director Han and the guards burst in to stop her, Yu Ci smashed a water glass, clutching a jagged shard of glass to her own throat just to buy enough time for one more call. But it was all for nothing. When the call finally connected, the only thing on the other end was the ice-cold, indifferent voice of her father, Xu Sheng. Utterly broken and abandoned by her own blood, Yu Ci dissolved into a fit of agonizing sobs. Da Shi, watching from the shadows, looked at her with a complicated, unreadable expression. Every week, Zhao He would cook her daughter's favorite meals and ask Jing to deliver them. Jing would take the food, go into the ward, and mock Yu Ci to her face, telling her that her mother had officially disowned her. Seeing Yu Ci's eyes go vacant like a hollowed-out corpse, the three legendary patients, Da Shi, San Ti, and Professor Yang, decided it was time to intervene. First, they secretly swapped the pile of hidden pills under Yu Ci's mattress with candies and left behind a small card with a rabbit on it. Yu Ci followed the clues to meet the trio, but she was still guarded and suspicious of their kindness, turning to walk away. Da Shi chased after her, telling her bluntly, "We aren't bad people. At worst, we're just a bunch of lunatics, but we're lunatics who want to help you get what you want." Yu Ci, still skeptical, threw out a challenge. She wanted a computer. To her absolute shock, that very night, she was handed a high-end laptop and a bank account containing a staggering 1 million RMB. The next day, she learned the truth. The money belonged to Da Shi. They wanted to help Yu Ci find her fire again and claw her way back into the light. Yu Ci finally accepted their help, and so began a brutal, secret training program. Over the following months, she learned their tragic backstories. San Ti was once a world-class professional basketball player whose career was destroyed by a torn Achilles tendon right before he was supposed to play overseas, leading to a total mental collapse. Professor Yang was a renowned psychology professor who moved into the corporate world only to develop bipolar disorder under the crushing pressure of high-level business and the death of a loved one. Da Shi, meanwhile, was the man with the limitless connections. The three of them divided her training perfectly. San Ti rebuilt her physical strength and endurance. Professor Yang taught her the advanced psychology needed to read and manipulate human hearts. Da Shi used his massive network to pave her path for the future. 3 years passed in a flash, and Yu Ci was completely transformed. Da Shi gave her one final piece of advice. To win a war, you need vision, endurance, and most importantly, a brain that operates at light speed. She presented her master plan to Da Shi, targeting the Li Shen group as her first battleground. Da Shi provided the final crucial pieces of intel, and the curtains officially rose on her revenge. 2 months later, present day, Yu Ci finally wakes up from her coma. Chen Mo is right there, having never left her side. Sitting in the hospital garden, Yu Ci calmly opens up about the Ice Age relationship she had with her father, Xu Sheng. In her eyes, her father didn't just dislike her, he harbored a deep, inexplicable hatred for her. She was expected to be perfect. Any deviation from his rigid will was met with explosive rage. Even during their graduate school applications, the contrast was sickening. He praised Jing to the heavens, but called Yu Ci's dreams unrealistic and delusional. He wanted her to work at a bank, and when she refused to follow his orders, he humiliated and screamed at her in public. Despite his cruelty, she tells Chen Mo she is still waiting for an answer as to why he treated her that way. As Chen Mo reaches out to comfort her, Bai Dong suddenly arrives with a major update on the corporate war. Assistant Cao has been fired and is currently in police custody for the illegal wiretapping. Dong Chao has secured the backing of the major shareholders and is aggressively pushing through the Bai C merger. Jing has completely vanished. No one knows where she went after the scandal. Surprisingly, Chen Shi is back. She has clawed her way back into the Li Shen group, taking over the Public Relations Department and temporarily managing Investment Department 1. Yu Ci analyzes the move instantly. She realizes that to Dong Chao, Chen Shi is seen as a minor threat that's easy to control. However, she knows Chen Shi will stop at nothing to crush Department 3. She warns Bai Dong to stay on high alert. Bai Dong dropped another bombshell on Yu Ci. Mu Ran was officially dead, having drowned in his own pool. But he warned her not to celebrate yet. Grandmother Qing Yu was a force of nature, a woman who didn't take losses lightly. She's coming for you, he warned, and she's a much more dangerous opponent than Mu Ran ever was. Meanwhile, back at the Li Shen group, Chen Shi was back in the driver's seat and loving it. She strutted around with absolute arrogance in front of Ren Jing, convinced that with Yu Ci out of the picture, the CEO's chair was basically hers for the taking. That night, under the guise of presenting documents, she went to Dong Chao's office alone, clearly trying to seduce him. Dong Chao, ever the enigma, didn't say a word. He simply stood up and pulled the office curtains shut, completely blocking the view of what happened next. Since Chen Mo had been at Yu Ci's bedside for weeks, Zhao He began to see him as the only person she could truly trust. Overcome with guilt, she finally confessed the dark secret behind Yu Ci's tragic childhood. Chen Mo realized that the knot in Yu Ci's heart was tied by her father, Xu Sheng, and until that was untied, she would never be free. After much hesitation, Zhao He revealed the truth. Yu Ci was supposed to have a twin. 30 years ago, Zhao He was pregnant with 2 girls. Xu Sheng had already picked out their names, Yu Ci and Yu Nian, names that symbolized deep sisterly love. However, halfway through the pregnancy, a scan showed a horrifying development. One baby was aggressively consuming all the nutrients, causing the other baby's growth to be severely restricted. Because Zhao He also suffered from gestational diabetes, Xu Sheng carried the weight of this trauma alone, never telling his wife. When Yu Ci was born, Xu Sheng saw a small birthmark on her arm, a physical trace of the sister she had absorbed. In his twisted mind, he began to resent her. To make matters worse, the moment Yu Ci was born, his own mother suddenly passed away, and his father suffered a mental shock. Then, the family factory caught fire, killing 2 workers. These consecutive tragedies led the neighbors to whisper that Yu Ci was a jinx, a star of calamity who brought death to those around her. This superstition poisoned Xu Sheng's heart, turning his love for his daughter into a deep, burning resentment. Hearing this, Chen Mo advised Zhao He to keep the secret for now, to avoid giving Yu Ci a massive psychological shock. Zhao He then went to visit her daughter, bringing a homemade meal and an old photo album, hoping to bridge the gap between them. Seeing Yu Ci's cold, distant demeanor broke her mother's heart. Through a flood of tears, Zhao He begged for forgiveness. Finally, the wall between them crumbled. Mother and daughter collapsed into each other's arms, crying until the pain began to fade. Chen Mo stood outside the door, witnessing the long-overdue reconciliation. Once they made peace, Zhao He brought her daughter home. Yu Ci looked at the familiar rooms, knowing her father was still in a coma. In another part of the city, Jing's mother woke up from a dream where her daughter had returned home seeking forgiveness. Faced with an empty, silent room, the poor woman burst into tears. Suddenly, Yu Ci received news that her asylum mentor, Da Shi, was critically ill. She rushed back to the treatment center, only to find that the 3 madmen, Da Shi, Sun Ti, and Professor Yang, had staged a fake illness just to trick her into coming back for a reunion. Da Shi looked her in the eye and asked about her future. He reminded her that once you start a game this big, you are bound to be pulled forward by the momentum until the very end. Meanwhile, at a massive shareholder gala for the Li Shen Group, Dong Chao took the stage. He played the devoted husband card to perfection, showing photos of his wife, Ling Ling, and reminiscing about their years of struggling together. His voice was filled with a performative tenderness as he spoke about her falling ill just as his career reached its peak. Sitting in the audience, Chen Shi watched the screen with a cynical, mocking smile. In reality, Chen Shi was the architect behind this PR stunt. She had prepared the speech for Dong Chao, specifically lacing it with emotional stories about his late wife to build a public image of him as a loyal, sentimental man. This was a calculated move to remind everyone of the Li Shen Group's support during his dark times, solidifying his image as a loyal soldier and paving the way for his upcoming capital manipulation. As the Li Shen Group officially launched its hostile takeover of the Bai Group, Dong Chao acted as the vanguard, aggressively buying up shares on the Hong Kong stock market. But out of nowhere, a mysterious force called Yin Yu technology appeared. Like a ghost in the machine, this unknown entity dropped a staggering $1 billion in a single move, snatching up 6% of Bai-size shares and throwing the entire market and Dong Chao's plan. The real power behind the mysterious Yin Yu technology finally stepped into the spotlight: Pang Yu. As the son of Xiao Nan, the head of the powerful Vian Qin Group, his sudden appearance sent shockwaves through the market. Everyone was speculating about Vian Qin's true intentions, and more importantly, who was really pulling the strings from the shadows. In a shocking twist, the secret backers were none other than the Bai Niep Group, led by the vengeful grandmother Qing Yu. This interference by Yin Yu technology completely derailed Dong Chao's master plan. Sensing the walls closing in, he immediately summoned Ren Jing with an urgent command: bring Yu Ci back at any cost. At this critical stage of the Bai Si takeover, Dong Chao knew that even if he couldn't make Yu Ci his ally, he absolutely could not afford to have her as an unpredictable enemy. Meanwhile, Bai Dong warned Yu Ci that Dong Chao was spiraling, draining every resource the company had to dump into the Bai Si acquisition. At the same time, Pang Yu made a ruthless move. He abruptly shut down the gourmet food street. The investment department went radio silent on the reason, leaving dozens of small vendors without a livelihood. Feeling a crushing sense of responsibility for the people she tried to help, Yu Ci reached out to Peng Yu, demanding a face-to-face meeting. The emergence of Yin Yu technology also forced Dong Chao to confront a past he had spent years trying to bury. Decades ago, Dong Chao and Peng Yu's father, Dong Hai, were the best of friends. But during the Vian Qian Group's takeover of Huinghua Shipping, Dong Chao saw an opportunity for massive profit. He betrayed Dong Hai, using his knowledge of the contract's betting clauses to lead the Lion Fund in a precise, devastating attack on the company. He sold his best friend out completely, leaving Dong Hai so broken that he died in despair. At the funeral, Xiao Nan famously slapped Dong Chao in front of the entire mourning crowd, exposing his filth to the world. A young Peng Yu watched it all, carving that hatred into his soul and waiting for the day he could strike back. Knowing Yu Ci was walking back into the line of fire, Chen Mo begged her to stop. He confessed that he couldn't bear the thought of losing her, but Yu Ci's mind was made up. To protect Chen Mo and ensure she had no weak spots for her enemies to exploit, she forced herself to push him away, deciding to face the coming storm entirely alone. When Yu Ci finally met Peng Yu, he mocked her. He told her she was brilliant but too good of a person. In his world, being a good person was a fatal flaw that guaranteed failure. Yu Ci fired back, telling him that while it's easy to fall and become a monster, the real challenge, the true strength, is staying kind in a world this cruel. The moment Yu Ci left, Jing stepped out from the shadows with a wine glass in hand. It turns out she had already crawled her way back into power by clinging to grandmother Qing Yu and using her connection with Peng Yu to build an unholy alliance against the Li Shen group. Driven by his thirst for revenge, Peng Yu didn't hesitate to accept her as an ally. Next, Yu Ci met with the matriarch, Xiao Nan. She pleaded with her to reopen the food street, subtly hinting that someone, Jing, was using the closure to turn Peng Yu into a pawn for a personal grudge. Xiao Nan, a sharp woman, understood immediately. She promised to pass on the message and left Yu Ci with a cryptic parting thought: "We will never be enemies. As for the future, let's see how the cards fall." Finally, the tension reached a boiling point as Dong Chao went to see Peng Yu in person. The blood feud between the two generations was ready to explode. Dong Chao tried to play the wise elder, advising Peng Yu to back off. He even offered to give him a piece of the pie if he was just looking for profit, trying to avoid a fight to the death. Peng Yu just laughed in his face. He had spent his entire life preparing for this moment. The image of his father dying in shame was still burned into his retinas. He looked Dong Chao in the eye and swore a silent oath. He wasn't here for money. He was here to leave Dong Chao with nothing, just like his father. The confrontation between the two generations ends with a chilling gesture. Peng Yu tosses a box of heart medication onto the table in front of Dong Chao. Dong Chao doesn't flinch. He just sneers back, telling Peng Yu he should keep the medicine for himself, lest he follow in his father's footsteps and die of a broken heart. But back at home, the composed CEO begins to unravel. Dong Chao tries to use an old, scented handkerchief to calm his nerves, but he discovers the maid has washed it clean. The last trace of the scent, his only anchor, is gone. He explodes in a terrifying rage, taking his frustration out on his wife, Ling Ling, with brutal cruelty. Their young daughter stands in the shadows of the hallway, watching the violence. In a heartbreaking display of a warped childhood, the little girl believes her mother is being punished because she wasn't obedient enough. After the assault, Dong Chao instantly flips his mask, carrying his daughter to bed and reading her a fairy tale like the perfect, loving father. The next morning, Dong Chao tracks down Yu Ci. He uses every manipulative trick in the book to convince her to return to the Li Shen group, promising to put the full weight of the company behind her dreams. He emphasizes that in a war of this scale, fighting as a collective is far more effective than being a lone wolf. Meanwhile, a mysterious fortune teller from the America Society meets with the Grandmaster, Da Shi. He's dying to know when the trump card will finally be played and what Yu Ci's next move is. The Grandmaster doesn't say a word. He simply smiles and sets the chessboard for the final game. The war for Bai Ci stock officially explodes. The two biggest players are the tycoon Jin Wan with 14% and grandmother Qing Yu with 10%, while the rest is scattered among minor shareholders. The market becomes a battlefield. Yin Yu Technology strikes first, bumping their stake to 9%. Li Shen chases them aggressively, hitting 12%. All eyes turn to the Bai Liang group. Qing Yu makes a public statement, claiming her company pursues stability and won't join inappropriate business competitions. It's a classic move. She's sitting on the fence, waiting for the two sides to bleed out so she can reap the rewards. Suddenly, Li Shen's internal PR and crisis management teams all resign at once. Dong Chao knows this is Chairman Huan Cheng's handiwork, a move to paralyze his ability to control the media narrative. Peng Yu seizes the opening, buying up more shares until Yin Yu hits a massive 19% stake. Dong Chao's war chest is running dry. He's barely holding the line, and he knows he needs a miracle. That miracle arrives when Yu Ci officially returns to the company. Her presence is like a sedative for Dong Chao's nerves. He immediately puts on a show for her, acting the part of the struggling leader. He tells her the takeover is at a deadlock, and his funds are so tight that he might have to break his earlier promises to her. Then he pivots, suggesting that if Yu Ci could secure more direct funding from Chairman Huan Cheng, the project and her dreams could move forward. Yu Ci reads between the lines. He wants her to be his beggar and his shield. She agrees to go negotiate with Huan Cheng personally. That night, the pressure finally cracks Dong Chao's psyche. He suffers a horrific nightmare that drags him back to his poverty-stricken childhood home, forcing him to watch his father brutally abuse his mother all over again. He wakes up in a cold sweat, his heart hammering against his ribs. The next day, Yu Ci meets with Chairman Huan Cheng. She doesn't pull any punches. She reveals that the evidence Dong Chao gave him about his son's death actually came from her. She uses this leverage to pitch the long-term value of the green materials and food street projects, asking Huan Cheng for a massive injection of capital. While Yu Ci plays the long game, Peng Yu is celebrating. Thanks to Jing's secret intel and strategic coaching, he has dominated the recent stock battles. Feeling triumphant, he invites Jing to the very restaurant where they first met. Years ago, Jing was trapped in an uncomfortable banquet, and Peng Yu was the white knight who saved her. He's been in love with her since that first look. Now, after years of partnership, Peng Yu is preparing to take the final step. He's planning to propose. Just as Peng Yu was about to pull out a diamond ring to seal their future, Jing cut him off with a voice as cold as ice. She made it brutally clear. Their relationship was strictly business at best. They were just friends with benefits. There was absolutely no love on her side. She told him to drop any delusions of a life together, then stood up and walked out without giving him a single chance to save face. Meanwhile, the war for the Bai Sai group had reached its fever pitch. Dong Chao was pacing like a caged animal until the massive injection of capital from Chairman Huan Cheng finally cleared. But instead of using that money to kickstart the humanitarian projects he had promised, he immediately dumped every cent into the stock market to gobble up more Bai Sai shares. When Yu Ci realized her projects had been defunded, she knew exactly what had happened. She had been used as a pawn to trick Huan Cheng into opening his wallet for Dong Chao's personal war. Yu Ci marched into Dong Chao's office and confronted him head-on. She argued that a real takeover of Bai Sai should involve partnering with Jin Wan to modernize the company, not just playing a predatory numbers game. Dong Chao, showing no remorse, began to brag about his charity work in poor mountain regions. Yu Ci cut through the nonsense, exposing the truth. Those donations were nothing more than a legal tax evasion scheme. Every act of kindness he performed had a price tag, and not a single bit of it was sincere. On the other side of the battle, Jin Wan was furious that Peng Yu was using Bai Sai as a weapon against Dong Chao. He went to confront the young man personally. Peng Yu arrogantly claimed that Bai Sai's business model was ancient and that Jin Wan was too old. It was time for the new generation to take over. Peng Yu's mother, Shao Nan, sat nearby, finally losing her temper at her son's arrogance and ordering him to shut his mouth. Jin Wan just sneered, telling Peng Yu that he had been lagging behind Dong Chao for years and didn't have a prayer of winning. Peng Yu put all his hopes on the Bai family's support, but he was in for a rude awakening. Jing and grandmother King Yu suddenly held a joint press conference, loudly declaring an alliance with Bai Sai to fight their common enemy. In that moment, both Peng Yu and Dong Chao realized they had been played. While they were busy trying to destroy each other and driving the market value of Bai Sai through the roof, the real winners were Bai Sai and the Bai family, who had simply sat back and watched the tigers kill each other. Looking at a triumphant Jin Wan, a purple-faced Peng Yu screamed that Jin Wan was nothing but a glorified nouveau riche. He swore the hunt wasn't over and vowed to avenge his father with his own hands. Searching for a way to fight back, Yu Ci asked Lu Feng about any major shareholders holding more than 1% of Bai Sai. He mentioned a mysterious investment fund called Cipher Copper that was worth watching. Back at the treatment center, Yu Ci made a shocking discovery. The Cipher Copper Fund had been founded years ago on the stock market by none other than Da Shi. This meant the madman from the asylum was actually the big boss behind a massive financial powerhouse. Professor Yang, seeing Yu Ci's anxiety, stepped in and offered the team's full support. He told her that if she needed mountains of gold and silver to solve her problems, they would find a way to get it. Yu Ci didn't hold back. She told them she needed a massive financial backing, literal mountains of gold, and specifically, she needed the shares of Cipher Copper. After the others pressured him, Da Shi finally agreed, declaring the fund to be Yu Ci's official birthday present. That night, Jing visited Peng Yu, only to find him passed out drunk next to his sofa. Everyone thought he was just a man driven by ambition, but in reality, he just wanted justice for his father, only to be stabbed in the back by the woman he loved. Jing looked at him with zero emotion and told him again. She only used him to get close to Dong Chao. She never felt a thing for him. Heartbroken and shattered, Peng Yu could only laugh at his own deep love. While the entire world saw her as a venomous snake, he was the only one who had loved her madness, hoping for even a tiny crumb of affection in return. He thought they were two of a kind, soulmates in trauma, but he had just been another tool. At that moment, Peng Yu officially buried his feelings for her. Jing choked back her own tears and, before walking out, gave him one last piece of advice. Withdraw now while you still can. Transfer your shares to grandmother Qingyu. It's not too late. Yu Ci decides to take the initiative and meet with Chairman Huan Chang. She apologizes for the project funds being embezzled by Dong Chao, but it turns out the chairman had seen this coming all along. He had purposely allowed it to happen just so Yu Ci could see Dong Chao's true, ugly face and come back to his side. Now that Dong Chao has lost all credibility, Yu Ci decides to transfer her 4% stake in the company to Peng Yu. She also gives the chairman a heads up. Be prepared because Li Shen is likely going to lose the battle against Yin Yu technology. The chairman tells her to proceed with her plan and grants her a special fund to restart her stalled projects. Meanwhile, the counselor from the America Society reaches out to Peng Yu. He drops a hint. If you want real revenge, go to Yu Ci. The shares she holds are enough to flip the entire board. When they meet, Peng Yu is stunned to find out she's been hiding such a powerful ace this whole time. Yu Ci just calmly replies, "It's one thing to have the ace, it's another thing to know how to use it." Before handing over the 4% stake, Yu Ci asks Peng Yu what his plans are once the revenge is over. She knows he has goals beyond just blood feuds. Her only condition for the transfer? Reopen the gourmet food street. Peng Yu is shocked that her price for such a massive power play is so simple. Yu Ci tells him straight, "I've always felt that deep down, you're a good man." This massive injection of shares changes everything. The war for Bai Ci flips in an instant. Yin Yu surges to 25%, pulling ahead of Jin Van's 24% and the Li Shen group's 23%. Dong Chao and Chairman Huan Cheng both watch the news, each trapped in their own dark thoughts. When the news hits that the food street is reopening, Chen Mo congratulates Yu Ci. Finally, her heart's desire has come true. Yu Ci thanks Chen Mo for silently staying by her side all this time, helping her stand in the sunlight once again. As they sit together, Chen Mo talks about his own journey of healing his emotional wounds, and how he wants to heal her too. When they talk about the trauma she's endured, Chen Mo admits he's still scared of what she's been through. Yu Ci listens, silently shedding tears of relief. Chen Mo looks at her, finally gathers his courage, and kisses her. From this moment on, their feelings are out in the open. On the day the food street officially reopens, the vendors return, and the atmosphere is electric. Chen Mo helps Yu Ci clean up, urging her to go home early and rest. Just then, Peng Yu arrives to thank her. Yu Ci sees the moment to advise him to team up with Li Shen to take down Dong Chao. In reality, Chairman Huan Cheng had already mapped this out for her. Once Li Shen loses the takeover battle, Dong Chao will be vulnerable. This is the perfect moment to kick him out of the company forever. After thinking it over, Peng Yu agrees to the alliance. However, Jing has been watching every move from the shadows. She convinces grandmother Qingyu that if she wants Dong Chao to be her ultimate puppet, she has to show him how Yu Ci betrayed him. Jing hands Dong Chao a secret file on the Cipher Copper Fund. The truth hits him like a freight train. The man behind the fund is Ziqi, also known as the Grandmaster, the legendary financial genius and founder of the Tankang Treatment Center, who has been in constant contact with Yu Ci for the last 3 years. Dong Chao finally realizes that he's been a pawn in a game played by Yu Ci and the Grandmaster this whole time. His rage and hatred explode. Chairman Huan Cheng reaches out to Dong Chao, pretending to sympathize with his failure to take over Bai Ci, but subtly blaming him for letting things get out of control. Dong Chao tries to play it cool, reassuring the chairman that he has an alliance with the Bai family and that the acquisition is still a sure thing. Then comes the day of Yu Ci's birthday. Chen Mo goes to her house, wanting to surprise her by baking a cake with his own hands. At the same time, Yu Ci gets a call from Dong Chao. She heads to his office alone, thinking it's business. But the moment she enters, Dong Chao snaps. He lunges at her with a golf club, striking her with brutal force. Blood pours from her head as she collapses onto the floor, unconscious. And as she lies there bleeding, the office door opens and grandmother Qing Yu and Jing Jing step out of the shadows to save her the sight. Chen Mo dials Yu Ci's number over and over, but there is only silence. Back in the office, Jing Jing squats down in front of the unconscious, bleeding Yu Ci, whispering poisonous insults about her past. She finally drops the ultimate bombshell, revealing why her father, Xu Sheng, truly loathes her. Years ago, Jing Jing had stumbled upon Xu Sheng's private diary and discovered the secret of the twin sister. She taunts Yu Ci, telling her that her very birth was a curse that brought nothing but pain to her family. The shock of the words causes Yu Ci to stir. She groggily tries to crawl toward her ringing phone, her fingers trembling as she reaches for a lifeline. But just as she is about to touch it, Dong Chao stands up and plants himself in her path like a wall. He looks down at her with total contempt, mocking her lofty ideals. He tells her that all the suffering the people around her are facing is a direct result of her own pathetic naivety. Grandmother Qing Yu watches from the side with ice-cold eyes. She warns Dong Chao that he hit her a bit too hard, but then she turns her venom on Yu Ci. She takes Bai Dong's team, Yu Ci's parents, and every vendor on the food street as emotional hostages. She tells Yu Ci to stay in her place and stop her futile efforts, or she'll make sure everyone Yu Ci loves pays the price. Jing Jing's mother, who never forgot Yu Ci's birthday, arrives at the house with a cake. She is horrified to see Yu Ci staggering home, her forehead matted with fresh flowing blood. She wants to call the police, but Yu Ci desperately stops her. Panicked, the mother contacts Chen Mo and they rush her to the hospital. The moment her wounds are bandaged, Yu Ci ignores the doctor's orders and bolts straight for her father's room. Xu Sheng has regained consciousness, but his mind is a fractured mess. In his delirium, he sees Yu Ci and mistakes her for her dead twin, Yunian. He starts screaming at Yunian, warning her to stay away from that other child, meaning Yu Ci, or she'll lose her life to her sister's curse. This is the final blow. The last flicker of hope in Yu Ci's heart is extinguished. She pours out years of suppressed longing and her desperate wish for a reconciliation that will never come. She finally understands that her father's love was replaced by a deep-rooted hatred long ago, and that in this family tragedy, she was the only innocent victim. Feeling her agony, Chen Mo steps forward and pulls her into a tight embrace, admitting with a heavy heart that he has known the truth for a long time. Yu Ci uses every ounce of her remaining strength to shove him and her mother away. She looks at Chen Mo and Zhao He with eyes full of betrayal, screaming at them for robbing her of the right to know her own life under the fake excuse of protecting her. Jing Jing's mother watches this heartbreak from the shadows, her suspicions growing deeper. She quietly follows Yu Ci back to her house. Yu Ci takes the cake the mother gave her into the dark living room. She sits there alone, eating the birthday cake and wishing herself a happy birthday, sobbing so hard her entire body shakes. She is a woman completely consumed by despair. Flashback 3 years ago. The story shifts back to the Tonkong Treatment Center. Yu Ci, Dashi, and Santi are in a meditation session led by Professor Yang. Dashi gets bored and heads back to his room early. On the night before her discharge, Yu Ci finally asks Dashi why a man like him is in a place like this. After a long silence, he reveals his past. His real name is GCE, and he was once a legendary Wolf of Wall Street, a man who could crash markets with a single phone call. In 2014, he orchestrated a massive market manipulation scheme that earned him a fortune at the expense of thousands of small investors. But the karma was swift and brutal. He never expected that his own son would be one of the victims. Having lost everything in his father's crash, the son fell into despair and took his own life. The sudden loss broke GCE. He retired from the financial world and founded this treatment center to hide from his guilt. He tells Yu Ci that when he saw her plea for help, he saw the ghost of his son in her. He decided to pour all his regret and the love he couldn't give his son into her, helping her at any cost and treating her like his own flesh and blood. Yu Ci is moved to tears by his confession. Just as the moment settles, Professor Yang and Santi suddenly appear. Under a vast starry sky, the three mentors raised empty cups instead of wine, offering a final toast to Yu Ci before her departure. They wished her the courage to face the world again, urging her to remain fearless no matter what obstacles the future might throw her way. On the day she officially left the center, Yu Ci said a tearful goodbye, leaving a special parting gift for each of them. Back in his room, Z Chadashi opened a coded box and discovered a hidden letter written by his son, a letter that was never sent. In it, his son confessed that he had been raised to believe that only from the peak could one truly see the world. But having reached that summit, he found only mist and mystery. Behind the mask of success lay only the bitter irony of fate and the unpredictability of the human heart. His final wish? That if he could do it all over again, he would choose a simple, quiet life with nothing but peace of mind. Reading these words, ZC sobbed uncontrollably, but for the first time in years, the crushing weight of his guilt began to lift. Back in the present, Mrs. Bai, Jing's mother, had been living in a state of constant anxiety since Yu Ci's injury. She went to see Tong Fei to find out the truth. Tong Fei didn't hold back. He laid out the entire history of the conflict, including the things he had done for Yu Ci. He begged Mrs. Bai to talk some sense into Jing, hoping she could persuade her daughter to let go of her malice before she destroyed more lives. Soon after, rumors began to explode within the Li Shen group due to the sudden, aggressive entry of the Bai family. Ren Jing personally hosted grandmother Qingyu and was nearly paralyzed with shock to see Jing walking right by her side. Up on the rooftop, Ren Jing and Bai Dong were discussing the implications when they received a call from Dong Chao. The news was a disaster. Jing had been appointed as the CFO of the Bai family, meaning she now had total oversight of Li Shen's cash flow. As Jing was about to leave with Qingyu, Mrs. Bai suddenly lunged out, blocking the path of their car and screaming for her daughter to get out. Qingyu, showing her cold nature, told Jing to handle her own mess and ordered the driver to keep going. The moment Jing stepped in front of her mother, she was met with a stinging slap to the face. Miss Bai was heartbroken, crying that she had spoiled her daughter too much. She believed that if she had been stricter, Jing wouldn't have turned into such a monster. But Jing felt no remorse, only a burning hatred. She screamed at her mother, blaming her for forcing her away from her father's luxury all those years ago. She claimed that the gossip and judgment of being poor had warped her mind and pushed her into the darkness. In Jing's eyes, the world only created two types of people: those who live in fear and hide behind society, and those like her, who embrace the bottomless shadows where no light can reach. She officially disowned her mother, telling her to act as if she never had a daughter. Devastated and broken beyond repair, Mrs. Bai wandered away and eventually walked into the freezing, dark waters of the river. Meanwhile, Yu Ci's sudden disappearance put Bai Dong on high alert. He met with Ren Jing, both of them fearing that Yu Ci had met with foul play. Ren Jing reported the disappearance to Dong Chao, but his reaction was bizarre. Not only did he take it upon himself to file a leave of absence for Yu Ci, but the irritated, aggressive tone in his voice set off major red flags for Ren Jing. She stopped asking questions to avoid scaring the snake, but Dong Chao gave her a chilling order. The moment Yu Ci showed her face at the office, he was to be notified immediately. For days, Yu Ci remained a ghost, locking herself in her room. Chen Mo, unable to reach her, went to Bai Dong and Ren Jing to find out if she had been in a conflict with anyone recently. His frantic questions only confirmed Ren Jing's dark suspicions. Once Chen Mo left, Ren Jing revealed two massive clues to Bai Dong. Dong Chao's office suddenly had a brand new carpet, and the heavy bag of golf clubs he always kept in his office had mysteriously vanished. The brand new carpet in the office? The missing bag of golf clubs? For Ren Jing, the math was simple. Yu Ci's disappearance had Dong Chao's fingerprints all over it. Bai Dong wanted to storm the security room and check the surveillance footage, but Ren Jing immediately shut him down. She knew that if Dong Chao was behind this, those tapes were already erased. Making a scene now would be worse than useless. It would be a suicide mission that might push the CEO to take even more extreme final measures. Meanwhile, Dong Chao was busy cleaning house. Now that the alliance between Li Shen and the Bai family was sealed, Chen Shi was no longer a valuable asset. She was a liability to be discarded. Chen Shi tried to use their past romance to beg for her position, but Dong Chao mocked her without mercy. He told her she was a fool, emphasizing that the only people he actually cared about were his wife, Ling Ling, and his daughter. Refusing to be thrown away, Chen Shi pulled her final card: blackmail. She threatened to go public with their affair and destroy his perfect husband image. Dong Chao didn't even blink. He took out his phone, called his wife right then and there, and handed it to Chen Shi, telling her to explain their relationship to her directly. That one move completely shattered Chen Shi's leverage and her pride. She was officially out. After several days of hiding and planning her next move, Yu Ci reached out to Chairman Huang Cheng. She invited him to a simple snack street, the kind of place they could talk without prying eyes. While they reminisced about the Li family's history, she laid out her plan for the endgame. Huang Cheng dropped a massive piece of intel. A fortune that Dong Chao was supposed to invest in overseas projects had vanished into thin air. He suspected Dong Chao was embezzling from the Li Shen group to build his own private war chest. The key now was finding the financial paper trail. Huang Cheng told Yu Ci she had to go back into the heart of the Li Shen group. It was the only way to get the evidence they needed to end him. While they plotted, Dong Chao and grandmother Qing Yu held a lavish banquet for the tycoon Jin Wan. They didn't waste time with small talk, proposing a three-way alliance to monopolize the entire urban renovation market. They promised to help Jin Wan privatize the Bai group on his own terms. Jin Wan began to waver. He remembered his meeting with Zi Che and his first introduction to Yu Ci. At the time, he thought she was just a spy for Li Shen, but now, hearing Dong Chao's proposal, the deal with the devil started to look very attractive. But while the corporate world was at war, Jing's world had collapsed. She received a call from the police station. Her mother had drowned. She went to the morgue carrying a bouquet of red roses, standing before the body draped in a white sheet. Through a flood of tears, she talked to her mother about the lowly, bitter life the woman had led. She talked about how her mother had spent her life scraping by in a salt duck shop just to save a few pennies for her daughter's happiness. Jing confessed that her younger self only wanted to escape that life, swearing she'd live in luxury just so her mother could finally stand tall. She placed the house deed she had stolen next to her mother's body, sobbing that she never wanted the property for money. She just wanted to hold on to the only family she had left. She collapsed into a fit of agonizing, raw grief. Later at the hospital, Zha He was caring for the comatose Xu Sheng when Jing suddenly appeared. The atmosphere in the hallway turned electric with tension. Zha He screamed at Jing for dragging the family into a nightmare, but Jing screamed back, claiming that Zha He's kindness was just a tool to use her until she was no longer needed. In a moment of total madness, Jing lunged forward and began to strangle Zha He. She only stopped when Chen Mo heard the noise and rushed over to pull her off. When Chen Mo and Zha He learned that Jing's mother had passed away, they were paralyzed with shock. Before storming off, Jing made a final vow. She would never forgive Yu Ci or anyone associated with her. Chen Mo immediately broke the news to Yu Ci, who was devastated. She went to the old house where Jing's mother lived, and the memories of the woman's kindness flooded back. While helping to clear out the disaster, Yu Ci found an old iron box filled with letters, tied together handwritten journals that the mother had kept for years. As for Jing, she made one final stop at the hospital. She paid off all of Mr. Zhu's medical bills and promised to arrange for his long-term care. When the old man asked about her mother, Jing hid her tears, said nothing, and quietly walked away into the night. Childhood memories flooded back to Jing, memories of her telling her stepfather that she didn't belong in that lowly alley, and that one day she would fly far and high. Meanwhile, back at the Li Shen group, Yu Ci had to swallow her emotions as she stepped into Dong Chao's office. Despite her mental preparation, the moment she faced him, she couldn't hide her natural, instinctive fear. Dong Chao was visibly delighted to see her trembling. Seeing his reaction, Yu Ci pivoted into a state of total, calculated submission. She told him that his previous warnings had finally woken her up, and she vowed to be the sharpest knife in his hand from that day forward. Dong Chao was thrilled. He reinstated her to her high-ranking position immediately. Her first order of business? A total shutdown. She was to suspend every ongoing project in investment departments 2 and 3. Ren Jing was assigned as Yu Ci's personal assistant. She asked about Yu Ci's head injury, but was coldly brushed off. Ren Jing understood the nightmare Yu Ci was trapped in, but she still delivered a warning. Abruptly killing these massive projects would cause Bai Dong to explode in rage. Looking Yu Ci in the eye, Ren Jing asked one final piercing question. Is this really the choice you want to make? Down at the offices of Departments 2 and 3, the team had organized a massive welcome back party for Yu Ci. The second she walked through the door, confetti cannons went off, and Bai Dong led the crowd in a cheering welcome. But Yu Ci didn't even crack a smile. She walked straight past them and made the announcement that drained the color from everyone's faces. All projects, including the green materials acquisition and the food street renovation, were dead. The room went silent. Bai Dong went into a fury, screaming that she had lost her mind. But a sharp look from Ren Jing forced him to swallow his anger for the moment. Later, Ren Jing reported the duo's reactions back to Dong Chao, assuring the CEO that she understood the golden rule of Li Shen: never show a single weakness. In the aftermath, Tian quietly began packing her things to quit. Ma Yang tried to talk her out of it, arguing that Yu Ci's decision might have a logical reason. But Tian snapped at him, calling him a fence-sitter who just follows whoever is in power. Later, Yu Ci met Tian at a cafe. Tian was brutally honest. She didn't hate Yu Ci, and she was grateful for everything she'd done, but the woman standing before her now felt like a terrifying stranger. She told Yu Ci she hoped the old kind version of her was still in there somewhere, and left her with one final message: "If you ever need us, we'll always be here." Finally, Yu Ci met with Jing alone for a final psychological teardown. She exposed the truth. Jing hadn't just caused her mother's death, she had also destroyed Professor Han out of pure spite. Years ago, Jing wanted to be the professor's grad student, but the professor, seeing how much she was struggling financially, kindly tried to introduce her to a high-paying state-owned enterprise so she could have a stable life. Jing took his kindness as an insult. She framed him for sexual misconduct, stripping him of his honor and forcing him into a miserable retirement. When Yu Ci had visited the professor later, she accidentally showed him a photo of her and Jing on her phone, leading the poor man to believe Yu Ci was also part of the scheme. To this day, Jing felt zero remorse. She screamed at Yu Ci, blaming her for everything, fueled by a lifelong jealousy of the happy life she thought Yu Ci had. Yu Ci then pulled out the letters left by Jing's mother. She told Jing to her face that she had murdered the only person who ever truly loved her. In the letters, the mother wrote about the agony of finally finding her daughter, only to be rejected as the girl searched for a gambling addict father. She wrote about the back-breaking labor of the salt duck shop and how her daughter's growing hatred had pushed her into total despair. Jing read the letters, then coldly ripped them into 1,000 pieces. Seeing that Jing was beyond saving, Yu Ci gave her a chilling prophecy. One day, you will realize that you've hurt the people you should have cherished and betrayed every bit of true affection you were ever given. But by the time you wake up, it will be too late. Meanwhile, the corporate endgame was moving. Grandmother Qing Yu called Dong Chao, demanding they organize the Grand Capital Mobilization meeting to officially announce their three-way alliance. Now that the plan was halfway to victory, she wanted to discuss exactly how they were going to divide the spoils. Dong Chao immediately ordered Ren Jing to set the date. That night, Ren Jing and Bai Dong sat on the rooftop, drinking away the bitterness. Bai Dong lamented that the Li Shen group had lost its soul. It was no longer a major corporation, just a gladiator pit where small businesses were crushed for sport. Ren Jing tried to convince him that Yu Ci had a hidden reason for her actions, but Bai Dong was done. He decided to resign, leaving the battlefield entirely to Yu Ci. When news of his resignation reached Chen Mo, he rushed to find Yu Ci, terrified she was losing herself. He begged her to look at the photos of the food street, hoping to bring back the girl with the radiant smile. But to keep her revenge on track, Yu Ci had to be heartless. She pushed him away, cutting the final thread between them. Chen Mo was left sitting alone at the food street, staring at their photo with a shattered heart. He wanted her to smile at the world again, but Yu Ci's worldview had turned pitch black. She told him that in this world, the bad guys carry guns to steal candy, while the good guys are strangled by rules and honor until they rot. She chose to walk into the darkness, to master the enemy's game and take it to the bitter end. But Yu Ci couldn't tell Chen Mo the truth. She was only back at Li Shen to drag Dong Chao into the mud. Before meeting Jian Wan as per Dong Chao's orders, she had met him in secret. She handed him the smoking gun evidence of Dong Chao's embezzlement and his fraudulent overseas investment reports. She predicted that Dong Chao would try to launder the company's assets right after the capital mobilization meeting. She made Jian Wan a deal. Pretend to work with him to gather evidence. If I'm wrong, you can just keep your alliance with him. The script played out perfectly. Yu Ci brought Peng Yu to meet Jian Wan. Peng Yu apologized for his earlier arrogance and vowed to destroy Dong Chao at all costs. After they left, a sliding door in the next room opened, revealing that Dong Chao and grandmother Qing Yu had been eavesdropping the entire time. Jian Wan acted his heart out, telling them he had shown his sincerity by setting up the meeting. Dong Chao, convinced he had two powerful allies, finally revealed his true master plan. He intended to use the mobilized funds to buy a shell tech company overseas, laundering the money through 3 different channels to eventually swallow the Bai C group whole. Jian Wan felt a shiver run down his spine. Every single one of Yu Ci's predictions was correct to the letter. Next, Yu Ci met with Chairman Huan Cheng after his visit to his old friend Jisei Dashi to report her next move. She knew Dong Chao didn't trust her anymore, but because Jian Wan had seemingly betrayed her to join his side, Dong Chao trusted Jian Wan more than ever. But then, tragedy struck. The news came in that ZCE had suffered an acute stroke. While Yu Ci was still reeling from the shock, Dong Chao called her to the food street. He threw down photos of her meeting with Xiaonan's family, mocking her and revealing that he had been watching her every move. Then, he gleefully admitted that he was the one who triggered ZCE's stroke. He had told the old man the horrific truth that ZCE's own son, Shangnan, was the one who had taken over the very company ZCE had targeted years ago. The father had accidentally caused his own son's death. Yu Ci rushed to the hospital to see the comatose ZCE. She squeezed his hand and whispered that she was close to finding the final key. To declare open war, Yu Ci sent several funeral wreaths to grandmother Qing Yu, a chilling warning that she and Dong Chao would never succeed. Furious, Qing Yu decided to pluck this thorn once and for all. She teamed up with Dong Chao and Jing, planning to use Yu Ci's dark past to shatter her mind so she could never stand up again. In a move of pure desperation, Jing sneaked into the hospital under the guise of visiting teacher Shu to steal hallucinogenic drugs. She then set up a secret meeting with Ma Yang. She used his fear of a poor, dead-end future to threaten him, eventually forcing him to poison Yu Ci's water. She promised him that if he succeeded, Dong Chao would reward him with the manager's position in Department 3. The next morning, Yu Ci stood silently in front of the office coffee machine, the memories of her happy days in Investment Department 3 playing like a movie in her mind. Ma Yang approached her, casually mentioning the machine was broken and offering to go buy her a coffee instead. Immediately after, CEO Dong Chao called Ma Yang into his private office. He used every manipulative leadership trick in the book to brainwash the young man. He told him that to be successful, he had to ride the wind, and that to stand at the peak, he sometimes had to be ruthless enough to burn the boats and sink the ships. This psychological push was the final nudge Ma Yang needed. He made the choice that served his own interests. Watching from the shadows, Jing was triumphant. She was certain Yu Ci had finally fallen into their death trap. That night, the silence of the office was shattered. Yu Ci went into a state of madness inside her office, the sound of smashing glass and furniture echoing through the halls. Jing immediately called Chen Mo, mockingly telling him to come and see the pathetic state of his beloved. But the moment Jing pushed the door open to savor Yu Ci's total collapse, the script flipped. Yu Ci slowly looked up. Her eyes were ice cold and terrifyingly lucid. Outside the door, Ma Yang stood calmly holding his phone. He informed them he had already called the police. Here's the twist. A year ago, ZCA Da Shi had introduced Ma Yang to Yu Ci. It turns out Ma Yang was the poor student ZCA had been secretly sponsoring for years. ZCA had warned Yu Ci that inside the Li Shan group, she didn't need an obvious ally. She needed a friend who could play the enemy. Every move Ma Yang had made was part of Yu Ci's master plan. Jing was stunned, screaming that Yu Ci was a fraud. Once she calmed down, Yu Ci asked her with a heavy heart why she hated her so much, since they were once best friends. Jing laughed in her face, spitting out that it was because Yu Ci was too perfect. Every good thing in the world surrounded Yu Ci, while Jing was forced to live in her shadow. Aside from hate, she had nothing left. Just then, Chen Mo arrived. Jing looked at the two of them and gave a sickeningly cryptic smile, declaring that even if she lost, Yu Ci's life would never be peaceful. Before being dragged away by the police, she left behind a thick folder of documents. Despite the scandal, Dong Chao and grandmother Qing Yu decided to proceed with the capital mobilization meeting as if nothing had happened. When the dust settled, Yu Ci opened the folder. Inside was an old newspaper clipping that revealed the secret Chen Mo had been hiding all his life. 12 years ago, Chen Mo's deaf parents were working in Xu Shang's factory. On the night of the fatal fire, Xu Shang, Yu Ci's father, was so overjoyed to hear that Yu Ci had used her stock market earnings to buy him a new car that he rushed home, locking the factory doors without checking inside. An electrical short circuit caused a massive fire, and Chen Mo's parents were burned alive inside the locked building. The teenage Chen Mo had picked up a brick that night, intending to kill Xu Shang for revenge. But it was the kindness of a young Yu Ci, who held an umbrella over him in the rain, that softened his heart and stopped him. For years, Chen Mo worked in the psychology center and happened to find Yu Ci's file, leading their fates to collide again. The truth was out. Chen Mo tried to explain, begging her not to push him away, but Yu Ci was ice. She told him she had sunk too deep into the darkness and that they belonged to two different worlds. Their relationship was officially over. On the eve of the big meeting, grandmother Qing Yu called Dong Chao, ordering him to memorize his speech and leave no room for error. She reminded him why he had returned to the country in the first place, triggering a horrific memory Dong Chao had buried. 10 years ago in America, he played the part of the devoted husband, caring for his sick wife, Tai Xian. In reality, he was secretly bribing her doctors to ensure she died quickly so he could inherit her massive fortune. After she passed away, he fled back to the country to join Li Shen. To Dong Chao, tomorrow's meeting was his ultimate harvest, his climb to the top of the world. The meeting was spectacular. As Dong Chao stood on stage, passionately describing his green real estate vision, the giant screen behind him suddenly flickered. Instead of his presentation, a high-definition video began to play. It was footage of him and grandmother Qing Yu plotting to embezzle the funds and move them overseas. The hall erupted into chaos. Shareholders screamed insults and lunged toward the stage. Yu Ci stood behind the curtains, watching the monster fall. Jin Wan sat in the front row, looking perfectly calm because he already knew. It turns out his dragon head cane wasn't just for show. It was fitted with a hidden high-tech camera that had captured every second of their treachery. Qing Yu screamed at Jin Wan, calling him a fool for ruining their plan. But Jin Wan stood his ground, his voice like iron as he told her that business must be built on trust, and that people like them were nothing but a stain on the industry who had dug their own graves. Suddenly, the giant screen behind them flickered, showing a photo of a tombstone, the grave of Tai Xian. As the crowd gasped, Xiao Nan pushed a woman in a wheelchair onto the stage. It was Tai Xian Dong Chao's dead wife. She choked back tears as she exposed her husband's demonic nature to the world. She told everyone how he had married her solely for her fortune and had plotted to murder her the second her usefulness ran out. Luckily, she had seen through his mask years ago and begged Xiao Nan to help her fake her death just to escape his clutches. Dong Chao tried to dismiss it as a family matter, but then Yu Ci and Chairman Huan Cheng stepped onto the stage. Yu Ci looked him in the eye and delivered the final blow. He had spent his life mocking morality and ideals, but those were the very things that were destroying him today. His grand $1 1 billion scam was officially dead. It turns out that 1 week ago, Yu Ci had already checkmated him. She had secretly gathered a council of 4: Jin Wan, Xiao Nan, Lin Lin, and Peng Yu. During that secret meeting, Tai Sen revealed a shocking truth. Her parents were the legendary powerhouses behind the America Society. Lin Lin, Dong Chao's current wife, after learning about his horrific crimes and hearing Yu Ci's plea for her daughter's future, decided to turn against him. The floodgates opened. Bai Dong, the team from Department 3, and Ren Jing marched onto the stage with mountains of evidence proving Dong Chao's embezzlement. Faced with the cold, hard facts, Dong Chao was speechless, and grandmother Qing Yu completely collapsed. Chairman Huan Cheng fired Dong Chao on the spot, and the police dragged him away in a state of utter, pathetic humiliation. But the evidence didn't stop there. Thanks to Yu Ci's persistence, Lin Lin handed over a necklace Dong Chao had given her. That exquisite piece of jewelry actually contained a hidden storage device filled with ironclad evidence of his illegal profiteering over the decades. Lin Lin officially filed for divorce, finally free from his shadow. In the blink of an eye, Dong Chao's empire vanished. The justice system moved swiftly. Dong Chao was sentenced to life imprisonment for massive asset misappropriation, stripped of his political rights for life, and had his entire personal fortune confiscated. Grandmother Qing Yu was sentenced to 6 months for instigating an attempted assault. The blogger Tong Fei had his social media accounts permanently deleted after being forced to make a public apology for defamation. Assistant Cao was detained, and the case against Mu Ran was officially closed due to his suicide. Even Chen Mo faced consequences. For violating medical ethics during the investigation, his license was revoked and he was banned from the medical profession for 5 years. As the storm finally passed, Yu Ci gracefully declined Chairman Huan Cheng's offer to lead the company. Instead, she went to visit her mentors, Professor Yang and San Ti. While they were reminiscing about their journey, a miracle happened. G.C. Dashi, who had been in a coma for weeks, suddenly opened his eyes, moving everyone to tears. Later, the little girl Nua found Yu Ci and handed her a letter Chen Mo had left before fleeing the city. In the letter, he offered a sincere apology. He admitted he was wrong to pressure her to let go of the past without understanding the weight she carried. He confessed that he never approached her for revenge. He did it because he could never forget the little girl who held an umbrella for him in the pouring rain all those years ago. Yu Ci finally moved back into her old family home, a place filled with memories, both bitter and sweet. She picked up a brush and began to repaint the walls herself, a quiet, sacred ritual to finally say goodbye to the past and start her life anew. As Yu Ci pushed open the door to her old home, she was met with a sight she never thought possible. Her mother, Zhao He, was there, sitting beside her father, Xu Sheng, who remained in his wheelchair. For the first time in 30 years, the wall of ice around her father's heart finally melted. He looked at her and, with absolute sincerity, admitted his mistakes and the massive debt of love he owed his daughter. In that moment, the emotions Yu Ci had suppressed for decades came rushing out like a tidal wave. The daughter who was once called a curse was finally, truly home. 1 year later, the legal saga of Jing finally came to an end. Because she was diagnosed with a psychological disorder during the trial, she was sent to a treatment facility before her prison term began. Ultimately, for her crimes of intentional injury and slander, she was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Peng Yu visited her at the treatment center, bringing her favorite foods. He watched with a heavy heart as she sat in a corner, painstakingly taping back together the pieces of the letters her mother had written. He tried to comfort her, telling her that the nightmare was finally over. But Jing suddenly stopped what she was doing. She looked up and flashed a smile, a mysterious, chilling smile that left him wondering if she would ever truly find peace. Back at the Lishan group, the massive purge had led to a total transformation of the leadership. The survivors of Department 3 were now the pillars of the company. Wang Meng was appointed as the Chief Financial Officer, CFO, Ma Yang was promoted to Vice President of Investment Department 2, and Bai Dong officially became the new CEO of the entire group. During his inauguration speech, Bai Dong shared a humorous and humble story about how he had once lost his way and nearly quit. He told the massive crowd that it was Yu Ci who helped him understand the true meaning of corporate management and social responsibility. He declared that the new Lishan would always keep its doors open for cooperation to create shared value for everyone. Down in the audience, Ren Jing watched him with eyes full of pride and deep, unwavering love. When new employees curiously asked about the woman behind the success, Tian just smiled and called Yu Ci a living legend. Meanwhile, Yu Ci was sitting alone on that familiar park bench. Thinking back on the incredible highs and lows of the past few years, she felt a sense of peace that was almost foreign to her. Suddenly, a shadow fell over her. Chen Mo appeared, sat down beside her, and handed her a bottle of soda. He simply said, "Hello, Yu Ci." The two of them looked at each other and shared a soft, gentle smile. Having survived the storm, Yu Ci had a brand new outlook on life. All the joy, the rage, the sorrow, and the love she had experienced were now like vibrant colors etched into her heart. She realized she needed these rituals of memory to hold on to them, so that one day she could look back, smile, say goodbye to the pain, and continue walking firmly toward her future. And with that, the movie officially comes to an end.